Oh, we're drinking piss, are we?
Yeah. Pint of your Christmas piss.
Pint of your finest Christmas piss. Shapiro is a shit stain.
Oh, hello everyone. We didn't see you there.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. So, yeah, it's Christmas. It's Christmas time. Mistletoe and wine.
No mistletoe.
Not allowed.
Not
Mistletoe
allowed.
is banned.
Yeah,
The woke.
the woke's got
Because
it.
of woke. Can't even mistletoe anymore
No.
because of woke.
Yeah, I can't even kiss women against their will.
Yeah, which is a famous Christmas. So, yeah, we're back. Here we are. Hello. Good to see you.
We're back and arguably better than ever.
Yeah. Extreme emphasis on art. No books this time.
No.
We're having a little break from
No.
that, but we've got something special coming. And not even a movie this time.
No.
No. We've done one better.
We've got some music.
Yeah.
As I understand, some Christmas songs.
Well.
Oh really? Oh no. What could be worse than Christmas music?
Well.
Stick with us to find out.
Yeah, we've got some music for Christmas. I wouldn't necessarily call it Christmas music, but yeah, we've got some classic American conservative music to listen to. 12 songs, the 12 songs of Christmas.
So when you say American conservative, you
Yeah.
mean fascist, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, this is what we've got for you today, a Christmas treat. We are going to be listening to 12 conservative songs, some of the finest ever put to record.
I'm sure.
Though none of them quite as good as that.
I bet you're glad you clicked on this one.
So yeah, thanks everybody. Welcome all of our new viewers. Don't click unsubscribe just yet. Whoa there! You can't really see the difference, but we've got a bit of a strange setup here so that we can listen to these songs and watch some of the music videos that go along with them. Obviously, we probably can't really show very much of it because of copyright reasons, but we'll try. We'll figure it out. We'll get away. I'll fuck with the fucking audio on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, we'll give you a chance to listen to them and give you a glimpse of the wonderful music videos that come along with them. Yeah. I don't know. Anything else to say? Or should we just get stuck in?
I suppose we might as well just get stuck in, eh?
Shit your pants. Yeah, I do have some info to go along with the songs, just so that, you know, there's some background, some explanation.
A bit of context.
Bit of context, yeah, where it's needed. Not always needed. Some of it speaks for itself. But yeah, I figured we would start back in the good old days of the Vietnam War.
Right.
So
I did think you were going to say the clown. So I mean,
well, you know, there's always next time. There's always next time. So yeah, basically I thought we'll go back to one of the sort of progenitors, shall we say, of kind of a lot of the songs that we will go on to listen to. I don't know, I don't want to jump the gun. It might be the worst one we listen to today. But hey, let's have faith, let's believe in a Christmas miracle. I'm sure we've got worse to come.
so we're going to start strong.
We're going to start strong, yeah. Back with Grandad's favourite tune. The Vietnam War era, especially for music, obviously pretty renowned for its anti-war songs.
Yeah.
Protest movement, the counterculture. This, a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like the sort of Bob Dylan sort of thing.
No, not quite.
Not Janis Joplin.
No, not quite. So what we are going to be listening to first is a song called The Battle Hymn of Lieutenant Calley by Terry Nelson and C Company. Now, Terry Nelson was a radio DJ who basically just did a sort of spoken word recital of these lyrics.
Well, I'm excited already.
Yeah. His actual name was Terry Nelson Skinner, which just makes me think of
Skinner!
Skinner with his crazy explanations. The superintendent's gonna need his medication. When he hears Skinner's lame exaggerations, there'll be trouble in town tonight. Seymour!
Especially with the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
It just all seemed too good not to mention. I also just want to mention that this song was released by Plantation Records. Which...
Yeah, you bet your ass it was released on
Yeah.
Contention Records.
Yeah, what a name.
Well, we're starting well, aren't we?
Okay, so this song presents an entirely fictionalised version of the life of Lieutenant William Calley, who was the US Army officer court-martialed for the murder of unarmed South Vietnamese civilians in the My Lai massacre of 1968.
Well, happy Christmas, everyone!
So,
Jesus.
obviously, My Lai massacre, incredibly notorious event in which roughly 500 civilians were murdered by the US armed forces. In fact, a helicopter crew had to directly place themselves between the victims and the perpetrators and even fire on their own soldiers to actually finally put an end to the massacre. Crimes of every kind were carried out, shall we say, against people of all ages. A nice little fun fact as well, we touched on Skinner. The C Company of the title does not stand for Chalmers. C Company was just a session band that played the backing track.
Right.
The actual C Company were the men who actually carried out the
the
massacre.
massacre.
Yeah, that's the reference they're making. The song is about how the My Lai massacre was a good thing and that William Calley is a great man. So,
Well, I'm really looking forward to listening to this.
yeah. So, I mean, I can give some more context now, or we can listen to the song and we can touch on it when we get through it. I suppose we might as well just get this one out.
Yeah. I mean, neither option is particularly appealing, if I'm honest, but yeah.
But hey Joe, don't worry, because we've got 11 more of these. And we haven't even listened to the first one.
Don't you usually get chocolate in Advent, Calvin?
Yeah, this one just has napalm behind every door. Plugged in,
Yeah.
tune in, turn out, fuck off. I think was the famous saying.
Once upon a time, there was a little boy who wanted to grow up to be a soldier and serve his country in whatever way he could. He would parade around the house with a saucepan on his head for a helmet, a wooden sword in one hand, and the American flag in the other. As he grew up, he put away the things of a child, but he never let go of the flag.
My name is William Calley, I'm a soldier of this land. I've tried to do my duty and to gain the upper hand, but they've made me out a villain, they have stamped me with a brand. As we go marching home.
Wow, that was one of the most heinous things I've ever heard. What a self-serving mealy-mouthed load of fucking piss.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is his sort of justification or defence of the My Lai massacre.
Yeah.
I've seen my buddies ambushed on the left and on the right, and their youthful bodies riddled by the bullets of the night, where all the rules are broken and the only law is might, as we go marching home.
I mean, he literally says in the song that we're committing war crimes constantly.
All the rules are gone and might makes right, basically.
What I love as well is his talk of, his right to serve his country.
Yeah.
And yet spends the whole song pissing and moaning about people protesting the war.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out that is their right.
Yeah. Is that not the very freedom that you claim to be defending when you go on these imperialist wars of fucking conquest?
While we're fighting in the jungles, they were marching in the street. While we're dying in the rice fields, they were helping our defeat.
But he's like, well, we're in the jungles and they're out. It's like, well, get out of the jungle then. You shouldn't be there, should you?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm 10,000 miles away. And it's like, well, fucking go on then.
Would you go over there?
It's like, there's a great phrase that, sort of resonates with us, with our Irish heritage, which is, go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking homes of your own? Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Obviously, so as you will have heard, set to Battle Hymn of the Republic, obviously, glory, glory, hallelujah. I mean, just what an inappropriate kind of line to draw. But again, perfect for America.
Yeah.
A country built on massacres. So, of course they're going to sing it as like some holy deed, because it's literally ingrained on the founding of the country.
I'm just another soldier from the shores of USA, forgotten on a battlefield 10,000 miles away.
Battlefield. That's a generous word for it.
When the British colonise, say, America,
Yeah.
their rule is unjust and
Yeah.
needs to be fought against.
Yeah.
But when the Americans go over to Vietnam
Yeah.
to essentially do the same thing, that's doing God's work,
Yeah,
is it?
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to be
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
on that.
now that we've figured that out.
With our blood we took the mountain and they gave it back again. Still all of us are soldiers, we're too busy to complain as we go marching home.
What do you call this? Bitched and whined. Like I say, the whole thing of him going round the house as a boy with a saucepan, none of that is true. This is all completely fictionalised. They didn't even ask him about it. They just made the whole song up. None of it is true. It is just a propagandist piece to try and portray him as this incredible boy. He was basically notorious for being an idiot.
Right.
Other than massacring 500 people, that was his claim to fame.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me.
No.
When I reach my final campground in that land beyond the sun, and the great commander asks me, did you fight or did you run? I'll stand both straight and tall, stripped of medals, rank, and gun. And this is what I'll say. Sir, I followed all my orders, and I did the best I could.
Just following orders.
We took the jungle village exactly like they said. We responded to their rifle fire with everything we had. And when the smoke had cleared away, 100 souls lay dead.
This is what you're going to tell God.
He actually claimed, rather than what they say here, that the suggestion is, we answered their rifle fire.
Yeah.
There were no shots fired
No.
at them. What happened was they went in and just killed everybody. And his defence was, I thought that's what they ordered me to do. Now, he may well have been ordered.
Oh, I'm sure he
It
was.
is something, obviously, as we know now and was known at the time. Many of these sorts of orders were given during the Vietnam War. Kill zones were just designated. You go in and kill absolutely everybody. The commanding officer who gave him the order, there seems to have been, at very best, a lack of clarification given. He had a meeting with him and basically he said, go in there tomorrow and kill the enemy. And Calley basically says, well, I took what he meant and the way he told me was everyone in that village is an enemy and you go in and kill them all. And of course the officer above him says, Moi? Me? I would never do anything like that. And Calley was obviously, it was all pinned on him. Even the other members of C Company, none of the other men were actually punished. So he very much was scapegoated. But obviously he literally did.
Oh yeah. He's by
not
no
innocent.
means innocent. Yeah, of course.
But part of his defence was actually, this is literally true. Basically, he was considered a fairly average officer. He passed all of his, officer assessment tests. He got a gold star and a lollipop every time. But after the massacre, suddenly everyone was like, oh well, we signed off on him every time. But he was kind of a fucking dunce cap. It turned out he couldn't read a map. He didn't know how to use a compass properly. He was like Gomer Pyle, basically. And so,
Golly, Shazam!
basically, his actual defence at the court-martial was that he's so stupid he should never have been given command of it. So that was his actual defence.
The Alex Jones defence.
Yeah, that he's so dumb that it's their fault for putting him in a position of responsibility. Which again, I kind of agree with.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah,
I just don't know
not-
how much of a
it does-
defence that is.
Yeah, exactly. He was sentenced to life in prison, but he never actually served life in prison. I think he served mostly house arrest. He had, unsurprisingly, as we see with this song, huge amounts of support from the right.
They always do though,
Yeah,
don't they?
exactly.
No matter how
Yeah.
blatant and
Yeah.
repugnant
Yeah.
their crimes are,
Yeah.
they always have support.
Yeah, but one thing I do want to point out is a difference, I think, between then and now is that he basically disappeared into obscurity. He completely retreated from public life, and when he died, hilariously, on his death certificate, they asked the family, oh, did he serve in the military? And they said no. So he presumably spent the rest of his life pretending he wasn't that
Wow.
William Calley, basically.
Yeah, I mean nowadays he'd probably become a senator or
Yeah,
something.
Well, I think he'd be selling fucking steak knives on his license. They rise now.
Yes, they do.
I feel like there was an element of shame perhaps in the past, and it simply doesn't exist anymore.
No.
So many lines have been crossed that, like you say, he'd be a celebrity now, and he'd be at Trump rallies and he'd be waving the gun he used to kill children. Like I say, we jumped in at the deep end.
We really did.
I thought, seeing as it's Christmas.
It really got me in the Christmas spirit, that one. Fucking hell.
Yeah. So I figured I would just close this by saying that 24 entire families are counted as having been completely wiped out in that massacre, with all 3 living generations having been killed in one day. 17 out of the hundreds of women killed were listed as being pregnant at the point of their death, and almost 200 children were killed that day, many of whom were infant children. Just a truly astonishingly evil act that still does not preclude them from not only defending it, but writing absolute insane hero worship fantasy drivel like this, just to act like the murder and rape of children is a good thing.
How do you sit and write a song lionising this cunt?
Yeah.
The way they do it, this hero, it's like he was a psychotic moron.
Yes.
At best.
Yes.
They're your heroes, are they? That's
the song. They imagine him standing before God and cowing God with his facts and lies.
By saying, I was only following orders here, commandant. You know what I mean? For fuck's sake.
Yep.
We're gonna need a bigger booze.
When all the wars are over and the battle's finally won, count me only as a soldier who never left his gun, with a right to serve my country as the only prize I've won.
Yeah, you can say that again.
I mean, obviously we're not going to be able to play the whole song on here, but it's kind of, if you're interested, it is worth looking at the lyrics at least, because wow,
they're insane. Completely insane.
It's like a fucking Daily Mail comments section.
All
in one.
Condensed into a song. 1 down, 11 to go. And on the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me, courtesy of the Red, White and Blue by Toby Keith. This is obviously a fairly notorious one. The reason I went for this one second is partly just to sort of show the continuity basically throughout a lot of these songs.
It's basically going to be the same song but about a different monster,
exactly, that kind of thing. Obviously this was sort of a notorious song of the 9/11 era. It was obviously...
Sorry, I didn't realise which song it was until you said that. Oh.
Yeah. For those of you old enough, you will remember it. American culture and society completely reverted into what it is, basically, which is insane settler colonial monstrous violence, genocidal rage, and we very much live with the legacy of it to this day in people like Trump and the fact that the Republicans are what they are today in part because of the Bush era, obviously, and the massive wave of violence that was unleashed by it. But I figured it was worth drawing a line between this insane hero worship of Calley and the Vietnam War that was an unmitigating disaster and entirely unnecessary
and mostly criminal.
And none of that gets in the way of them still defending it to this day and wishing obviously that it had gone on longer and gone on further and more people had died. And basically the Iraq War and Afghanistan wars and the War on Terror was essentially a part 2 where they've been able to prolong it for as long as they obviously wanted the Vietnam War to go on. And obviously it has done everything that we all knew it would. As soon as they started rattling their sabres, we all knew where it was going. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. As children, we knew what was going to happen, and it played out as predictably as that. They don't have a conscience, they don't care, they have only profited off it, and as far as they're concerned, it's all good and rosy. Even when the world ends in 6 months' time, they will still justify it themselves.
When the world ends, whatever survivors there are, they'll all be sitting around talking about how the Armageddon wasn't hard enough. You know what I mean?
Didn't kill enough.
Well, I'm still alive, so it obviously wasn't good enough.
I've still got some fingers. I've got more eyes now than I had before. We're going in the wrong direction. So, basically, Toby Keith, fucking what a nerd.
Well, yeah.
I can't remember if it's true for Toby Keith, but just like how Terry Nelson is actually called Terry Nelson Skinner,
Yeah.
almost all of the people on this list go by pseudonyms. Like, they all have fucking silly stage names.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, none of them actually go by their own name.
It's like a Daily Mail comment
Yeah.
section.
Yeah, basically Toby Keith was never going to record this song. He only ever played it live, and I believe he played it specifically to military personnel live.
Right.
But basically, just incredible story. And this is his actual title. The Commandant of the Marine Corps, James L. Jones, told him that it was his duty as an American citizen to record the song and put it out there on and these are quotes. "It's your job as a singer to lift the morale of the troops, and if you want to serve, this is what you can do," which I find really funny. Like, obviously, partly it's insane the fact that he basically recorded this song on, like, his daddy's organs. But what I find funniest about it is the explicit acknowledging of the reality that for all the tough talk that comes with, obviously, a song like this, but with all of the songs that we're going to listen to, that almost none of these people have ever served in the military. And so they act like they're these tough guys, and they even sing in their songs about how they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and they would do this and they would do that. And almost none of them have ever actually done it. And it's just kind of made me laugh that it's like, even in the story of how the Herr Commandant of the Marine Corps,
James L. Jones.
he told him, please, you have to record this. If you'd like to actually serve, here, this is the least you can do. Because let's be honest, mate.
You're never going to actually serve, are you? It's fucking unreal, isn't it? Like you say, like listening to what we just listened to and knowing that all of this absolute fucking trash that he's talking. And it's like, and never once served in the military.
You can fuck off over there any day now.
Exactly,
So, like I say, obviously this song was released against the backdrop of the 9/11 attacks, the war on terror, this utterly unhinged period.
Which unfortunately seemed to just serve as a fucking prologue.
Exactly. And I think,
now,
really it has just, obviously America has always had this as part of its cultural DNA. Of course, But the explicit normalisation of total imperialistic wars of conquest against, especially in this instance, people who were entirely unrelated to the events that had actually allegedly spurred it on. What I will say, just as obviously everything's been a little bit of a down note, I will just add before we listen to the song that thankfully Toby Keith did die earlier this year.
Good.
In a moment that was described by some observers as long overdue and, quote, fucking hilarious.
Good, well, I'm glad he's dead, but I mean, it's a shame he ever lived, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tragic. Okay, let's crack on.
Oh god, let's gear up, shall we?
Yeah. Let's lock and load.
Well, if they can pretend to be in the military, then so can we.
American girls and American guys will always stand up and salute. We'll always recognize when we see your glory flying. There's a lot of men dead, so we can sleep in peace at night when we lay down our heads.
God, the fucking guitar. Wow.
Absolute unhinged bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it has made me feel a bit better though, because that was hilarious.
That was really
the last one was just fucking horrific. That was so embarrassing. It was like Ricky Gervais doing Nazi propaganda. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, the lyrics, that they are atrocious and they are, like, incredibly, I mean, to say jingoistic, it's not...
It's barbaric.
It is barbaric. It's fucking disgusting. Hilarious, though.
I mean, I think part of it is, like, the ridiculously overwrought vocals.
You
know how cool he thinks he sounds and looks like such a dickhead.
Yeah, it's like he's so inherently silly.
Yeah.
You almost can't despise him. I mean,
you almost just assume it's satire.
Like, it's so Tim Heidecker.
Yeah, like if you release that, you could release that today as like, you know, a joke of like, oh, looking back at 2001, like how mental people were. You could release that today and people would laugh at it, assuming it was a joke. That was absolutely real. He's literally just reveling in the idea of genociding civilians because that is what took place. That's what happened.
Now this nation that I love is falling under attack. A mighty
a sucker punch came flying in from somewhere in the back. Soon as we could see clearly through our big black eye, man, we lit up your world like the 4th of July.
I cannot see at all a difference between that and Nazi Germany.
One thing I do
What's the
point out
difference?
from the music video is right at the end as when he's got the American flag guitar and a big cowboy hat on and the cut-offs. With
Yeah.
And there's all the screens covered in American flags.
Yeah.
The one behind him is like this kind of mashup of American flags and it's kind of spinning. And they're like very much configured in the shape of a swastika. Like that is the pattern draws that to mind.
Yeah,
It's really quite fitting, yeah. The only other thing really I have to say is the fact that you have that rapid fire shot of him holding a gun and then it cuts and shows that he's basically playing a video game. And then him in the tank.
When it showed that, I was thinking like, why is he shooting at a tree?
Yeah, and then it's like him in the tank, like when
We're doing a Nazi song.
and then he's got like, I tried, I participated, I'm an honorary soldier man.
I'm a tank commander.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
Yeah, honorary tank.
It's like what they'd give to a little kid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
literally that.
Do you reckon they gave him a lollipop?
Yeah,
as well?
exactly. It's like genuinely like so childish. The whole cosplay part.
Yes.
And I think that's sort of one of the best examples of it, where it's like he's just a country singer dickhead.
Yeah.
And he's gonna sit there and pretend that he's a soldier singing about indiscriminately killing everyone who gets like the Statue of Liberty shaking her fist.
Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list. And the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist.
Old man yells at her.
And an eagle will fly, and it's gonna be here when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell.
Oh my God.
Was it Mother Freedom
Mother
ringing her bell?
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
what does that even mean
What
in the
are you on
context
about?
of violence?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Mother Freedom's gonna come and murder you. What is the metaphor here, you fucking dogshit songwriter? But yeah, a truly atrocious song in every way.
The fact that obviously, it's country music now. Like, I hate having to call shit like that country music because, like, I always just think like, what would Chris Christopherson make of that? Do you know what I mean? It does disgust me how like country music gets so often seen as that. That's just bullshit.
If I remember correctly, I believe the famous Ethan Hawke story of the backstage confrontation was between Chris Christopherson and Toby Keith.
Oh, it was him, was it?
It was, yeah.
Oh,
Because
wow, that
if I
story
remember-
just became so much better.
Because if I remember correctly, the funniest part about it is that Chris Christopherson outlived him. So,
I'll
here's to
drink
you,
to that.
Chris.
Cheers, Chris.
Catch you fuckers at a bad time.
Also, just one more thing to say. I don't know. Actually, no, I do know what looked funnier. Him cosplaying, in his cut-offs and his big fucking cowboy hat. Or when you see him just in, like, fucking sweatpants and trainers and a baseball cap, like, singing to the tree. It's like, what happened? Did your luggage get lost at the airport or something? Because, like, why are you dressed like that?
Every time he turned up, he found his cowboy hat was in the fucking urine. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Try that in a small town by Jason Aldean.
Fuck.
So, I figured obviously we might as well dive into this one. We've gone from the fairly distant past of Vietnam to the more modern era, the Bush era. Let's jump ahead to the Black Lives Matter era.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Try That in a Small Town, fairly notorious. Obviously, it kind of went viral, for all the wrong reasons. And I think, again, another reason, certainly these first three songs, all of them really, they kind of hit all the sort of beats that we're going to see repeated throughout all of the songs we're gonna listen to. So, like, obviously, we have that sort of explicit worship of the indefensible in the first one, and the lies. They can't actually say
what actually happened.
Well, I think the My Lai massacre was good because I think killing children is good. They have to pretend that somehow the children were armed, and brave William Calley single-handedly defeated the killer children battalions of the VC. It's like just nonsense, absolute nonsense. We have obviously the military cosplay stuff. with Toby Keith, and then obviously with this one,
Pretending that you're from a small
yeah,
town.
we have the sort of the bullshit persona.
Yeah, the cowboy cosplay.
Yeah, and more of the political lies, dressing up your opponents in the least favourable way possible, and controversy for all the wrong reasons, that then, rather than people supporting the song because it's good, they support it because they think it triggers the libs.
Yeah, it's what they call virtue signaling.
Yes, exactly.
Very
exactly,
literally. That's
exactly.
all it is.
And so huge numbers of these songs became hits because of the backlash.
Yeah.
So there would be outcry against it, and then to virtue signal their support of genocide and violence against children,
they'd all download
they
the
all
song.
have to buy and download the song because they need to show
I wonder how many of them ever actually listened to the whole thing. Like, couldn't you just imagine these people, like the most vocal supporters of all this shit?
Yeah.
They get the single, you know, they download it,
Yeah.
they press play, and after about 20 seconds, like, yeah, fuck that, I'm not listening to that shit. But I love it.
It took a grand total of 4 people to write this piece of shit.
What?
Funnily enough, none of whom are named Jason Aldean. Weird.
I was just gonna say, because like obviously you see collaborations in songwriting, of course you do, but like 4
Well,
people.
yeah, this is like, you know, when you see at the beginning of a movie and the
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
written by 11 people, and you go, okay, we're in for something now.
Yeah, it's like such a fucking sign, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Like I say, it became controversial for all the wrong reasons, and the reason that it became controversial and then eventually went viral and gained all this support from the right is primarily because of its music video. The video features Aldean singing in front of the courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, which was the site of the 1927 lynching of 18-year-old Henry Choate, a black man accused without evidence of assaulting a 16-year-old white girl. So, a classic example. This young guy, he was literally in the area for the day to visit his grandfather. He was arrested and was put into the courthouse, and by that time a mob had formed. After discussing dynamiting their way in, a woman inside relented and unlocked the door, let them in, and they beat him to death with a hammer and then lynched his body, and nobody was ever convicted or tried because there wasn't enough evidence, you see. There were no witnesses willing to testify, and no one could name anybody that was there, and there was just no way of convicting anybody. Weirdly, that did not apply to him beforehand. He was easy enough to arrest, it seems. Obviously, everyone involved in the production of that video, Aldean, the producer of the video, the director of the video, they've all denied that that was ever intentional, essentially claiming ignorance, that they had no idea that any such event had ever happened there, which, even if you believe that, which you don't really have any reason to believe that, it's kind of a perfect analogy anyway, isn't it? Like, it doesn't actually rob the meaning of the fact that you're singing in front of such a disgusting sight.
Yeah.
The fact is that the message of your music is literally justifying lynchings, and you are standing in front of a site of a notorious lynching. I mean, honestly, I can almost believe that they didn't know that, because I imagine almost anywhere you go in a place like that, you're going to be stood in front of a place where a black person was lynched. So where were they supposed to go? Canada?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
The other sort of part of it is that basically the music video also contains apparently very little footage of America. Much of the footage that is used of, like, you know, these protesters and these is actually from other countries. There's like stock footage that's used. There's stuff from all over the world.
Right.
Virtually none of it is from America. There was actually a legal problem when they were making the video, because one of the few clips that they actually had from America was a Fox News clip, and they couldn't get the rights to use it. So they actually had to take out one of the only parts that was actually of America, of these apparent, violent thugs, the Antifa thugs that are ruining the country.
You would think, wouldn't you, that if you were involved in this project, the whole point of which was to show everyone, look how bad things are in this country. And one of the main things that happened is, well, we actually couldn't find any footage of that happening in this country. You would think it might lead you to some sort of realisation.
Yeah, some sort of self-reflection.
But I guess if you're James, what's his name? Jason Aldean, or, you know, one of his fucking...
4 ghostwriters.
Yeah. Ghost Riders.
Ghost Riders for this guy. It's genuinely ridiculous that 4 people wrote this song, and at no point did any of them think, you know...
Guys, this is
like, they
shit.
couldn't deliberately find any footage to back them up, but they accidentally found a courthouse that was the site of a lynching. Like, that's the, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
you fucking for real, guys.
Yeah, again, it happens like so often, where it's like every time they talk and try to prove their point, they end up proving our point kind of better than we ever could.
So yeah, another part of it as well, the other element for Aldine personally, is that there are sort of pro-gun elements to the song as well, and it is quite interesting because he has quite radically shifted his view on the availability of firearms, because he was actually a survivor of the Las Vegas mass shooting. He was performing on stage when the shooter opened fire from I believe it was a hotel room window down onto the crowd that were watching him fall.
Holy shit.
Which killed 60 people, and I believe about 800 people were injured in, you know, were either hit or in the, you know, crush and everything of people trying to get away. And he was on stage and literally fled for his life as bullets were literally tearing into his fans, after which he basically said, you know, we need to do something, guns need to be restricted. Obviously in the intervening period since then has become completely embroiled and ingrained in the Trump movement, and now suddenly has nothing to say about that.
Well, that's what you call a motherfucker right there, isn't it?
What a real man he
yeah.
is. To look 60 dead people in the eyes, basically, of his fans, and turn his back on them and be like, yeah, fuck you. I want to cozy up to Donald Trump because it's safer.
Yeah.
Try that in a small town. Tough guy Jason Aldean is going to set us right, and he's going to tell us what he would do to our supple virgin bodies. If we tried that in a small town. Did you see that guy recently? Who was he? He's like a war criminal or something? He's like an American war criminal. I'm sure he was a war criminal. Like, I know it sounds strange, but I'm certain this guy was a war criminal. He was on Twitter, and like some young guy was like making a point about something, you know, and he was like, this is why our society is so decadent and declining, and in ancient Rome you would have been my concubine. And everyone's like, sorry, what did you just say? Like, do you know what that word means? Like, do you not understand? And the guy, obviously, who he said it to was just like, no, it wasn't on my bingo card this year that a fucking convicted war criminal would say he wants to fuck. And then he was like, no, I know exactly what I mean, and I'm doubling down. Yes, like he's basically like, I want a harem of boys. I want a harem of boys. It's like, oh, okay. I guess they're feeling a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. Wow. Okay then. Fucking hell.
Yeah. I can't say I'm shocked, but still.
No, I'm
didn't
not.
expect
Yeah.
you to say it out loud.
Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like.
That ain't country, man.
Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough? Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road.
4 people it took to write this.
Wow. How poignant.
Yeah.
Took 4 fucking people to write that.
Well, so I guess really what I have to say about it, to be honest, is incredibly one note, really dull, repetitive, muddled, messy song. Like it just purely like the first one was really, really insane. The second one was like just hilariously just like this is so cringe and you're such a prick. That was, it didn't even have enough in it to like make you either disgusted or upset enough that it covered for the fact that it's just a really shit song.
Terrible. The other 2 at least were like structured like songs. You could hear the, you know, verse, chorus, etc.
This one just, it's so
it all blends together.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just a 3-minute long chorus basically.
Yeah, it's really weird.
One thing I would like to say is that like, not that he'd know anything about it, but like we come from like a far smaller town than he's talking about. Like, there were like 4 houses and a field where we grew up, and he's gonna fucking go tread in a small town. It's like, yeah, did it, mate? Already have.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Round here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't.
Madly, I think this is the worst song so far.
Easily.
Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in
fact is like the main thrust of the whole thing basically boils down to conflating violent crimes with protest movements, which is obviously ridiculous, and basically threatening to shoot people for that, for protesting. So obviously, again, we see like another thing that is going to come up again and again, and that is a common theme in right-wing politics, which is this whole notion of being anti-protest while trying to maintain, especially in country music, a rebel persona.
Yeah.
And those two things just cannot coexist. You cannot say you're a rebel and then you're going to go and stand out shoulder to shoulder with the police and shoot protesters. Okay.
Cushing out a cup. Oh
No!
yeah, it's
Foul
language. You have your cowboy hat.
Yeah, and the leather jacket.
Yeah,
It's so self-serious.
and you're so. But what you're actually doing is just pearl clutching. You're just going, oh, he's in there to sing the bad Halloween for you, and then it's like, Jesus
Broken
Christ.
window.
Yeah. Also, like, his whole, stomp on a flag and set it on fire, and then goes to holding up a liquor store.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they're not. They're completely unrelated.
What is the comparison?
They're completely unrelated.
Well, I think like one of the really funny things is like one of the first images you see in the video is like you see the courthouse, and then you see like flames and someone with like a baseball bat over their shoulder.
You see, the
flames.
Molotov cocktail.
And they're like Molotov cocktail. And it's like honestly like the most famous images of those types that I can think of modern American history is the Charlottesville Unite the Right and January 6th, both of which were explicitly fascist in nature. The only thing that you can compare it to really would be stuff that took place during the George Floyd period of protest. And again, it's just like this is the problem, is there's like that actually has roots in actual issues and actually trying to address the issues, which none of your politics has.
Well, I mean, look at the way they talk about Black Lives Matter, the whole movement. Obviously,
Yeah, we just did it there. Conflating protest with crime.
Yeah.
Well, they're black,
Yeah.
so they're criminals.
But
they're not protesters.
The whole time that, I mean, obviously, like the Black Lives Matter movement, it's still an ongoing thing, of course it is, but like that period when it was, all over the news, basically. And whenever you mention something like January 6th, well, what about Black Lives Matter? And the point is that for all of those months that the Black Lives Matter protests were occurring, the only thing that I can really think of that was that violent that happened during Black Lives Matter protests was when Cole Rittenhouse turned up and started shooting people, or other right-wing
The only
extremists.
violence that took place against people was predominantly carried out by the police, which is, again, Jason, that's a tool of the state, and you're cozying up to the state. You're not a tough guy.
No.
You're hiding behind the police and threatening to kill people who fight against oppression and tyranny.
Yeah, you're just a collaborator.
It doesn't sound like an American rebel to me.
Again, we mentioned Chris Christopherson earlier, but like there's obviously that footage of him talking about, I mean, obviously this was back in like the 70s or the 80s, and he's talking about the flag waving and how it just reminds him of Nazi Germany. And you look at that video, and the other video we watched, and the other song with this, all of this.
All the time. Yeah, if you gave somebody the lyrics from one of the songs and was like, this is a translation
from German. Yeah. It's like, you see all the American flag, and it's like, you see, everything draped in flags, and they don't even seem to make that connection. I mean, I know a lot of them obviously do, and it's deliberate, but like, it can't be stressed enough how, to the rest of the world, to anyone outside of America, looking at that, we all know what it means because we've seen this before.
It's not okay, it's not good. It does not inspire good feelings in other people. One thing I do want to say as well is, just as an example, it sums this whole song up. It's just one line. It has the cringe and the complete atonal mess that is this song. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck. It's like you've removed parts of the sentence to make it fit in a song, and it doesn't fit in a song. 4 people wrote this song. 4 people. How?
Round here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right.
Still going. On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love sent Gabe. Don't Tell Me How to Live by Kid.
Very get to this one. I'll be honest, this is a little bit of a treat for me.
Yeah,
I do
we'd
find
have
this,
a little
but
bit
it's,
of a,
yeah,
a bit of a comedy.
brevity, like. I mean, it's just so typically Kid Rock, isn't it? Like, the man is such a fucking joke. Like, you look at the state of him, especially now. I mean, he looked like a crackhead when he was young, because, I mean, he was.
Yeah.
But, like, you look at him now, and it's like, oh my god, like, the way he dresses and everything, like, with his little fucking hat and all that, and it's like, you are possibly the most embarrassing human being that's ever lived.
Yeah. So, yeah, Kid Rock, obviously, aka Robert James Ritchie, rich kid son of a famous local car dealer, grew up on the family's country estate, complete with tennis courts, swimming pools, barns for their horses, and an apple orchard. Weirdly enough, didn't feel the need to mention any of that in his music about how he grew up in the gritty urban trailer parks.
He's from the streets of Detroit, although simultaneously he's also from Dixie and is a country rebel.
Country boy, yeah, I guess that it slipped his mind, you know.
I mean, he got to cosplay as both, didn't he? Because he was just outside of Detroit on this huge estate, but he could pretend that this huge estate was...
Country estate is the country, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just for anyone that's not familiar with Bobby Rock's oeuvre, I thought I'd just pick a random song of his and just pull out a random line from that randomly chosen song, just so you catch up to speed, gives you a bit
I think
of
I
an
know
idea.
where you're going with this.
Gives you an idea. This is a line of his from a song called Cool Daddy Cool, in which Richie Rich sings, young ladies, I like 'em underage, see? Some say that's statutory, I say it's mandatory. So that probably gives you some of the idea of the sort of noncery that you should expect from...
Wow, I didn't know where you were going with that. I mean, wow.
Unsurprisingly, he slotted right in with the MAGA crowd.
Yeah, funny that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going to highlight one of his lines that is just out and out racism, you know. But no, pederasty. Instead, so.
Yeah, like he's friends with Ted Nugent. He's been hunting with him. He's got like pictures of him.
When you say hunting.
Yeah, exactly. They've gone predating. He's an absolute wrong un.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely wrong through and through. Okay, are you ready?
Oh, I've never been more ready.
One of the finest minds of our generation. It's funny how much worse he looks even since this video came out.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
I'm a moonshine sipper, straight slipping in the darkness. Far from heartless, I'm more like the sharpest tool in the shed. No, I've never been the smartest, but make no mistake, I hit the fucking hardest. So what the fuck's up with all the backlash? You snowflakes, here's a news flash.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
I love how he gets more insistent every time.
That's one of the cringiest things I've ever seen in my life.
That is quite possibly the pinnacle of cringe. Like,
Yeah.
It's like because it checks all the boxes, doesn't it? It's a granddad dressed like that.
Yeah.
The fuck. And it's just, it's so like every aspect of it is so embarrassing. And it's like his writing as well is so childish. It's all like, I'm so cool, I'm really fucking cool. I'm still cool, I'm really fucking cool. Fuck you. And it's like, you're embarrassing yourself.
It's so like childish is the word. It's such a perfect again encapsulation of like the right wing kind of masculinity shit. It's so childlike, so juvenile, such teenage bullshit, and it's all just like, let's get a big beard man. To stand behind the bar. Let's get some people with the muscles out.
And tattoos.
It's just like, guys, for fuck's sake, everything about you is fake. Everything.
Like Mayberry bitch, I'm hard and crisp, high risk, hillbilly, but I'm filthy rich.
And he's fucking hillbilly this and
But I'm
Detroit
filthy rich.
It's like, you are a rich kid.
Yeah.
You were always rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I'm
Like,
filthy, as
you
if he
made
made all that money. It's like, no, you were just born a
Bought
millionaire.
your way in.
Yeah.
You're a fraud. You're a fucking fraud.
I mean, I was going to say, obviously, the way he dresses is so embarrassing. Like it's so embarrassing. And this is coming from us. Do you know what I mean? Like the hat it's not really a cowboy hat, is it? It's that sort of slightly smaller, weird.
Yeah, but he's constantly like.
I mean, he is wearing a cowboy hat.
He's wearing so many hats.
Yeah,
he's like they fluctuate wildly in size.
Yeah, but like he's got the sort of fedora thing on with the fucking V-neck.
Yeah.
And the long like basketball shorts and socks up to fucking here, and it's like you're like a 70-year-old man. He dresses kind of like Jimmy Savile.
Yeah. I don't understand what the vibe is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's so all over the place.
Yeah, again,
it's like I said before.
About him as a
yeah, he's from the mean streets of Detroit, and he's like a gangbanger.
Yeah. And
he's also a cowboy.
Yeah. And
a hillbilly.
And he loves his guns.
Yeah.
Like in a gangster way.
Yeah, but also in a hunting Second Amendment way. It's almost like he's just 100% full of shit.
He will be whatever he needs to be to succeed in the moment.
Yeah.
It is pure grift bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, again, and also just such lazy box ticking. I put the word snowflakes in.
Yeah.
The millennials are offended by everything.
Years ago, we all thought it was a joke. See, that every kid got a motherfucking trophy. But yo, homie, here's a situation. A nation of pussies is our next generation. And these minions and their agendas. Every opinion has a millennial offended. But this amendment one, it rings true. And if you don't dissent, bitch, then see number 2.
There's no substance to any of it.
No.
And like you say, everything just boils down to fuck you. I mean,
I just read it. That's something I've always enjoyed actually. Like just even aside.
that whole final verse is so embarrassing.
Like, if you want to have a laugh, just
read some
Google Kid Rock lyrics and just read them. Like this is how they originate. He writes that shit down.
Allegedly.
Someone writes that shit down, and they all sit around. Maybe up to 4 people. Who knows? It might be the same 4 people, but they write it down, and then they sit there and go, "Yeah, that's
and
good
they
enough."
Hear that recording.
Yeah, and they go,
"Yeah, better.
That's a hit."
Nothing new, right? Church, wrong, pew. Get a clue, approve your fake news and views. Get all
That's a hit.
I'm the last of a few, still screaming, fuck you.
You're like Milli Vanilli, kinda silly and shit.
I'm like Shotgun Willie, smoking Phillies and shit. I'm like Reverend Run or David Lee Roth, like Springsteen, bitch. I'm the motherfucking boss. No, you're nothing like Bruce Springsteen.
Why would you make these comparisons?
James Dean shit, I'm more like Brad Pitt. Like, is that you literally just saying, my mum says I'm the most handsomest boy in school? Like,
you're just a little rich kid who bought his way in.
Yeah.
And that's all you'll ever be.
Yeah.
He's slumming it.
Yeah, he is.
That's all he is just a tourist.
Yeah.
And that's why everything about him is so fake and hollow sounding. And why he flits and dances and jumps backwards and forwards and he's this and he's that and he wants to be this and he wants to be that and he believes in this and he believes in that. Because it's whatever he can say at the moment to regain popularity.
Yeah, I'd love to see him get slapped by Jarvis Cocker.
He wanted to be a hip-hop guy, a country guy, and so he sold himself, again, the classic, hey, but don't worry, because I'm white, you know? So he escaped by on that, because it was more marketable and more palatable.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of run its course, and he started to see the bottom coming up, and he decided, hey, where's country going? Well, it's becoming right-wing fascist shit.
So that's what
I'll just do that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with Kid Rock. He's the gift that keeps on giving. It's just when you thought he couldn't possibly be more embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yes, he can.
He is never tapped out. There's always more to give. Yeah, also just a classic image of him squatting over his own decks. It's just like, there you go, that's you, mate. Shitting all over music.
Also him riding on that big dick.
Yeah, it's just like, mate.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live, except that I am a proponent of fascism. So literally every facet of my life is going to be under orders.
Dictated. And my entire reason for screaming this at you is to tell you how to live.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, it's so muddled. Nobody's going to tell me how to live, so it has that whole sort of rebel vibe. But the whole thing is him like policing other people's views and whining about it. it.
Yeah.
Trying to put that on everybody else doesn't change the fact that all you're doing is bitching.
Yeah.
It's the same with all of them. They just sit there bitching and moaning about how tough they are and how totally not mad they are. It's just like, yeah, no. We can all see how completely unoffended and not upset you are when you're screaming at me and calling me a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Aiming a gun at me.
The opening of that tune is one of the funniest things you'll ever hear, when he's just going, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Shit, goddamn.
Detroit.
Yeah. I don't give a shit, Detroit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not from Detroit.
You never tell me shit, you'll never flip my script, because I'm more outrageous than the Vegas Strip.
Fuck, this is atrocious. This is one of the cringiest things I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
We'll have to do a separate video just about
Just
Kid
about
Rock.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Am I the Only One by Aaron Lewis. This is a much more solemn, more spiritual song by Aaron Lewis, who you probably don't know the name of, but you probably will know the name of the band that he is famous for fronting, which was basically part of the sort of early 2000s nu metal boom.
I might be done.
He was, and now I believe they've reformed or are still performing in some way.
Good.
He's the front man of the band Stained.
Oh,
So,
Jesus.
Honestly, I don't have a huge amount to say about this one. I've not heard this, obviously. I don't really know anything about him or Stained.
They suck.
Not as mad as this, I imagine.
No, probably not, no.
All I know really is that he is a anti-vaxxer. He hates vaccinations. COVID-19, no. He's a pure blood. He loves the idea of giving people diseases on purpose.
Is that why his band was called Stained?
Yeah. So I'm hoping that is kind of included in this song, maybe.
I mean, I'm sure it will be. They don't tend to have very much to say,
Yeah,
do they?
exactly. So yeah, Am I the Only One by Aaron Lewis. I suspect I already know the answer.
Having listened to a few of these songs now, it does sort of strike me that a song often, in terms of songwriting, it's like getting across basically just one sentiment in short form, you know what I mean, in just a song. I don't think, certainly Kid Rock, they can't even do that. It's like you can't even express a single thought.
Yeah.
Like you just...
Yeah, just pick one.
Yeah.
Please try.
Am I the only one here tonight? Shaking my head and thinking something ain't right. Is it just me? Am I losing my mind? Am I standing on the edge of the end of time? Am I the only one? Tell me I'm not. Who thinks of taking all the good we got and turning it bad? Hell, I'll be damned. I think I'm turning into my old man.
I'm feeling patriotic already. I love this country. I love this land.
I've just realised that I do know this. Wish I didn't. How embarrassing. Oh my god.
That was great. I really like that. That was so bad.
That was like, wow.
That was incredible.
It's funny, but like the whole time you were talking about the song, I was like, oh, I have no idea what this song is. And as soon as it started, I'm like, oh wait, no, I have heard this. So he's from the band Stained, this new metal early 2000s fucking trash shite.
It's emo shit, isn't it?
He's
emo mega. He's fucking emo mega. That's incredible. He's just crying about it.
But it's like, it's supposed to be, derived from obviously metal and like punk and that sort of thing. And yet it's all like, oh, I love the cops.
Yeah.
I love the cops
I love
so
the Confederacy. I love it like when he actually says, like, there's the line where he's like, I'm becoming my old man.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yes, that's not a good thing.
That's pretty embarrassing, dude.
Not only are you doing that, you're doing it in front of everyone.
You're doing it in song form in the most embarrassing way possible.
Am I the only one willing to bleed or take a bullet for being free?
You aren't one of those people.
You never have, so I'm guessing not.
Screaming, what the hell am I TV for telling me? Yeah, you're telling me that I'm the only one
Bit of a stretch on it.
You've been writing songs for how long, mate? I think you might have run out of steam.
Burning on the ground, another statue coming down in a town near you. Watching the threads of old glory come undone.
When he starts talking about the fucking Confederacy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's like
statues.
Yes, yeah, and it's showing about old glory.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, again, like this is the problem. I mean, like I said, like you start like right at the beginning when he's talking about like something ain't right. It's just me, I'm losing my mind.
well, yes.
And it shows like Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And then they put a bunch of like stock footage of black people in there to obviously try and counterbalance the fact that
Oh no, that's not what he's saying.
No, I'm not getting at that. And it's like, yeah, you obviously are.
Yeah, you are.
And
Look
then,
at you,
the old
mate. Look
man,
at you.
the old man crying about COVID. And it's just like, he's dead now. He's probably dead. You
because
killed
of
him.
pricks like you, yeah.
Wear a mask. And it was just like, what's going on here, man? You're so confused. This is the problem. You're old and you're confused.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Old
That's why
man
you're like you're
yells
old
at
man.
cloud.
Yeah.
Am I the only one not brainwashed? Making my way through the land of the losses.
Look, Joe. I think I prefer them when they're actual proper songs. Like, there's so much more cringe.
Am I the only one willing to fight for my love of the red and white and the blue?
You aren't.
Yeah, you're not fighting.
You haven't.
There are people who are.
You haven't. You didn't.
Am I the only one? It's like, well, unfortunately, you're not. But that doesn't mean that you're not completely full of shit.
I mean, I think the best response to this is the fact that he's like, "Am I the only one who's willing to fight and take a bullet?" And it's like, you
didn't.
haven't. You had the choice.
Yeah.
You've had the chance. You haven't taken it.
Yeah.
You aren't one of them.
No.
You're not even one.
Yeah, you're not even-
not one. Am I the only one?
You're not
You ain't one. You dumbass. Oh god, his dad would just be shaking his head.
His dad would be shitting all over his decks.
What would Bruce Springsteen?
Am I the only one who quit singing along every time they play a Springsteen song?
They love talking about Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, they really do, don't they?
Rent free, I guess.
Well, he is the fucking
is the boss.
isn't he? Like, Kid Rock is embarrassing in that way where you just laugh and laugh and laugh at him. Toby Keith is just cringe, he's utter, like, oh god. He is just, he's embarrassing and sad.
Yeah,
It's
crying.
Yeah, it makes me want to cry, do you know what I mean? Seeing him, it's
I
like,
have to say, I do prefer songs like that to like the Kid Rock one, because the Jason Aldean and the Kid Rock one were so messy and just such. There's nothing. There's no substance.
yeah.
Whereas
yeah.
that, it's like you get such an image of this sad,
yeah.
crying,
Yeah, you do,
emo
yeah.
maggot. And it's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, like you can just imagine like his life. I'd love to see like David Lynch do like a sort of straight story style film about him. Do you know what I mean?
He just stands in front of the toaster, and as soon as the bread comes up, he just starts crying.
I'm not the only one willing to fight.
Oh my god!
Thin Blue Line.
Burning on the ground, another statue coming down in a town near you.
Yeah, Confederate general, slave owners.
I love that he shows footage of a statue remaining firmly in
Yeah,
place
yeah.
when he's saying.
That's him on the roof. Cut to White House down. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Accidental Racist by Brad Paisley and LL Cool J.
Say
This is
what?
what I've been really excited for.
Brad Paisley's that fucking
Yeah,
that little
the country.
auto-tune fucking
Yeah.
He does the cover of You'll Never Leave
Yeah,
Harlan Alive,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's just that sort of auto-tuned, it takes everything out of and it's like,
How
no,
dare you?
no, yeah,
How dare you.
how dare you?
So, yeah, Accidental Racist by Brad Paisley and
What the hell is LL Cool J doing in a song? called
Words
Accidental
to
Racist?
strike fear into the hearts of even the bravest of men. Like I say, I don't really have much to say about this one. I just thought thought after everything that we just had, we could use a little bit of entertainment, maybe a bit of a pick-me-up after emo so maybe if we just, jump in, try not to cringe to death.
Yeah, okay. Have we got our cringe repellent bats?
Yeah. All I know about this one basically is that it's a song about how, people who fly the Confederate flag, there's not being racist by that.
Yeah.
And LL Cool J singing about do-rags and slavery, so it's going to be incredibly bad.
Okay.
Also, it's a 9-minute song.
You actually almost had me there, man. I was like, what?
To the man that waited on me at the Starbucks down on Main, I hope you understand. When I put on that t-shirt, the only thing I meant to say is I'm a Skinner fan.
Fucking hate Brad Pitt.
Where's this image?
Is that a toilet roll?
Yeah. It's coming out of his arm.
Yeah.
The red flag on my chest somehow is like the elephant in the corner of the South.
Somehow. Probably the most interesting euphemism for slavery.
I'm just a white man coming to you from the Southland.
Finally, someone had the guts to say it. This one goes out to all the white boys. I cannot believe that LL Cool J is going to be the most embarrassing person we feature in this entire video.
Yeah, I mean, if you told me that before we started, I'd be like, no fucking way. But now, we've still got another, 6 to go, yeah? I would be utterly shocked if anyone could be even half as embarrassing. Kid Rock looks cool compared to LL Cool J in that.
Dear Mr. White Man, I wish you understood what the world is really like when you're living in the hood. Just because my pants are sagging doesn't mean I'm up to no good. You should try to get to know me. I really wish you would. Now my chains are gold, but I'm still misunderstood. I wasn't there when Sherman's march turned the South into firewood. I want you to get paid, but be a slave, I never could. Feel like a newfangled Django dodging invisible white hoods. So when I see that white cowboy hat, I'm thinking it's not all good. I guess we're both guilty of judging the cover, not the book. I'd love to buy you a beer, conversate and clear the air, but I see that red flag and I think you wish I wasn't here.
Well, I didn't think LL Cool J would be more embarrassing than Brad Paisley. I mean, he sounds like he's got a fucking, he's had a head injury.
Yes.
What the fuck is he on about? What the fuck?
Just a white man
If you don't judge my
coming to you
do-rag,
from the Southland.
I won't judge your red flag.
I understand what it's like not to be. I'm proud of where
If you don't judge my gold
but
chain,
not everything we've done.
I'll forget the iron chain.
It ain't like you and me can rewrite history.
Can't rewrite history, baby.
Don't judge my do-rag, I won't judge you already. It's like, the do-rag isn't a symbol of slave. I mean, forget my gold chains, I'll forget them iron chains.
Iron chains.
Mr. Cool J, are you fucking feeling all
You
right?
fucking with me.
R.I.P. Robert E. Lee. But I gotta thank Abraham Lincoln for freeing me. Know what I mean?
That might be the worst song I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And Brad Paisley is not the worst. One thing I will say is, unlike the others, you can at least say that its heart is trying to be in the right place.
Yeah.
Brad Paisley thinks he's being progressive. in
Yeah,
some way.
yeah.
And LL Cool J is bridging the divide.
Yeah.
With the white man from the Southland. But it does not work at all. It is so embarrassing. The way he starts by being somehow the Confederate flag has come to mean bad. I wonder how. Well, somehow. And it's the problem is that the elephant in the room that he mentions is one of the most monstrous acts in human history.
Yeah.
And you cannot compare signifiers of being black to the slave trade.
It's tit for tat.
Yeah, like, and this whole idea of like, hey, I guess we both judged each other.
That
you know, it's like, no.
Yeah,
no, one group enslaved the other. That's the issue here.
The way he's obviously trying.
That honestly, it does make it worse.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me of like an old, I guess you could say, somewhat closeted racist.
Yeah. Oh, but I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
But he's nice enough guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that.
He's black, but he's nice.
But the fact that he's going, you know, fucking, I'm a white man living in the South. Like, it's like saying, like, I'm a German living in Bavaria, and secretly I still think Hitler was right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like there's this idea of bridging the divide, but at no point is he actually acknowledging the monstrosity of what the Confederacy was about. It's all, it's all making excuses, and a lot of the time not even making excuses, simply saying that we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, it's not our fault. We didn't do it. You need to get over it. And hey, look, you judge white people too. You know, if you think about it, really, we're the victims of racism.
Our generation didn't start this nation. We're still picking up the pieces, walking on eggshells, fighting over yesterday, and caught between Southern pride and Southern blame.
If someone has a swastika tattooed on them, or if they wave a swastika flag, I am not a bad person for thinking, there's a cunt.
Yeah, he's not even saying, just because I'm from the South, you assume that I'm a conservative and that I support all that stuff. Which is a fair enough thing to say, because obviously there are tons of people in the South, including huge numbers of black people from the South, who found themselves living in the South somehow, according to Brad. Somehow they ended up there, I guess. And obviously huge numbers of those, they don't love the slave trade Confederacy. He's not saying, oh, just because I'm white and from the South, you judge me based on the history. He's like, if I walk around dressed up in a Confederate flag, you somehow think that I don't have a problem with the Confederate. Like, well, if you're wearing it, it sends the signal that you don't. Yeah. That your Southern pride extends so far as to be proud of slavery. How are you not getting that?
And then you get on to LL Cool J.
No, we don't. That is some of the worst lyrics.
Yeah. It made Kid Rock's lyrics look passable. I can't believe what I was listening to. I cannot believe what I just listened to.
Like we was about halfway through the song, and I was gonna say LL Cool J hasn't even said and then he started, and it was like, oh my god.
Immediately it was like, oh no.
This
is
one of the biggest musical mistakes ever made. I'm just a German man invading the
R.I.P. Robert E. Lee. But thanks,
Abraham,
for setting me free.
Freeing me.
That's real. Is it? What are you talking about?
What the fuck are you on about? Jesus.
It's like, no. Like, this idea that...
No. Literally, it's just, was slavery good or bad? Who can say? Yeah. But here's a racial stereotype. And it's like, okay, you are familiar with the idea that there are, like, more than one type of black person, right? Yeah. It's just the complete unacknowledgement of, like, the complexity of black people aren't all wearing gold chains and do-rags, and the fact that obviously there is not actually anything wrong with that at all, that there is nothing negative about that you aren't harming anyone by doing that, and that is left completely under no acknowledgement for that. But we all have to cry and think about how hard it is to be a white person in the South. And hey, look, if you can overlook the fact that I dress certain ways,
then I can overlook the fact you're enslaved.
I guess we'll call slavery a draw. You know, it's like.
As much as, like, obviously, LL Cool J, thus far, I think...
He comes off worse.
Yeah, he comes off worse than Brad Paisley. He comes off worse than almost anyone we've listened to. With the possible exception of that first song, I guess.
He comes off worse than Lieutenant William.
He comes off worse than fucking Robert E. Lee. But, like, as much as, LL Cool J clearly comes off the worst, I do feel that the line, I'm a white man living in the Southland, is probably the worst and most ill-conceived lyric I've ever heard.
When he just suddenly declares, I'm a white
it's like, oh yeah.
I know.
I was not expecting that to be
That
the
was
most
supposed to be our
hilarious.
light entertainment break.
I mean, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
I
the
was
message was one of the most ham-fisted and the worst.
I cannot believe that is probably the most fascinating song we've actually listened to today.
Yeah.
Because of the message of it. Because, again, like you say, it's actually trying to be a positive message.
Yeah, like I put it on here because I knew, like, I figured it was going to be cringe. It is a conservative song. I think it might be slightly unfair to put it with the others in the sense that it isn't meant to be a conservative song, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a liberal conservative song.
Yes.
It's this conservatism of liberalism that basically demands that all of the aggrieved people
just shut up about it.
Yeah, that they shut up about the things that were done to them by me, and that maybe we just suggest that I should just keep all of the stuff I stole from them. Let's just call it even now. Starting now. We'll call it even. So you stay in your nice little ghetto, and I'll stay in the plantation.
And I'll stay in the ranch that I inherited from my great-granddaddy.
They called it reconstruction. Fixed the buildings, dried some tears. We're still sifting through the rubble after 150 years.
This whole issue of reparations that is so sneered at by so many people is an argument long since put to bed, because the reparations were handed out at the time. The slavers received reparations. They not only got to keep all of the money they made, they were paid
they were
extra,
compensated
for the loss of income and their property. And after the Civil War, they tried to do the same thing. So this idea of like, oh, Reconstruction, that they rebuild, but did they do it right? Who can say? They're trying to fix the problem, but did they make it worse? You know, and it's like, no, they didn't try and fix the problem. They tried to just stop talking about it, and that's the problem.
Wow, man, like the history of the United States of America, and obviously the UK as well, and basically any fucking European power. It's just the history of filth, isn't it? It's just
a history of
filth. Wow.
So, from one insane recollection of Southern history to another.
Oh, good.
On the 7th day of Christmas, I think I'm on the right one. If I'm wrong, who cares? My true love gave to me If the South Would Have Won by Hank Williams Jr.
Oh, God.
So obviously this is a song by the son of Hank Williams, classic American country legend. I think the title kind of speaks for itself. I don't really have anything to say. Let's dig in, shall we?
Well, if the South would have won, Brad Paisley would have nothing to worry about, would he?
Yeah, exactly. He could stop feeling so sure. It's this emo maggot shit. Fucking piss baby.
If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably run for president of the southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd make my Supreme Court down in Texas.
Kurt Schlichter.
We'd all learn Cajun cooking in Louisiana.
Yes.
And I'd put that capital back in Alabama. We'd put Florida on the right track, cause we'd take Miami back and throw all them pushers in the slammer.
Oh, this is a tune, I like this.
Original Classic Hits, Volume 16.
He was singing straight out of womb.
I'd have all the whiskey made in Tennessee and all the horses raised in those Kentucky hills. The national treasury would be in Tupelo, Mississippi, and I'd put Hank Williams' picture on $100 bills.
Is he going to mention slavery?
No, I was literally, wait till it's done. I've got something to say about this. Well, I've got quite a bit to say about that. So, as you correctly asked whilst listening to that, is he going to mention slavery? And the answer was like pretty early on.
Yeah.
You realise it's like, no, he's never going to.
No.
Now, I've come up with a little theory whilst listening to this. I have a little theory that Hank Williams Jr. is a fucking idiot. I don't think he has any understanding of why people have a problem with the Confederacy. He literally thinks that it's all just about fucking Elvis and Patsy Cline and
I actually disagree, and I will tell you why I disagree. Because he says if the South would have won, we'd have had it made. And I think what he's referring to specifically there is the riches of the South being lost through slavery. That the South was the economic heart of the US. That it was the engine of empire. Whether he understands it or not, he just pointedly doesn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
Except that, well, if we'd have won, we'd have been...
Might have been better off.
Might have been better off. Yeah, that was really fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
I will say, though, if it hadn't been about how slavery was good, that's a fucking banging tune. If it was a Waylon Jennings song,
Yes,
like
he's clearly trying to emulate,
even the beard and everything,
and the hat, all of it,
Yeah, it's
like,
so obvious.
There was a line in there that took me by surprise, to say the least.
Yeah, there was definitely a questionable line. I'm just going to pull it up. I think it was right towards the end, right?
I'd have every girl child sent to Georgia to learn to smile and talk with that southern accent. It drives me wild.
What? Sorry, what?
Oh, he went there.
That was a wild streak, alright. So I'd have all the cars made in the Carolinas and I'd ban all the ones made in China. Put a pin in that for something I'm going to bring up in a little while. This is one of the most outrageous lines. I'd have every girl child sent to Georgia to learn how to smile and talk with that southern accent that drives men wild. Now, I don't know, Mr. Williams Jr., if you're familiar with the word pederast.
If you're familiar with the term federal penitentiary.
If you're familiar with the term nonce basher. That was just incredible. I don't know, like that line when he actually said that, like it genuinely caught me off guard. It was shocking. Actually, I just remembered the only other thing I had to say. Obviously, he started his career just singing his dad's songs in basically the exact same style as his dad, and obviously always struggled with like trying to actually get out of the shadow.
Right.
Of his
Yeah.
dad,
Of course.
not having any kind of actual identity of his own. And so I find it sort of especially funny that he basically just is copying somebody else. But from what I understand, he changed musically quite drastically after having a severe accident in which he suffered severe head injuries. And so it actually kind of makes a lot of sense that he suddenly pivoted to like right-wing conservative Southern pride country stuff after his brains got knocked out of his fucking head.
It's that guy who phoned into, was it LBC, when he was saying to Nigel Farage, I was always against Brexit, you know, and then a big event happened in my life which completely changed, and Farage, what was that? I was kicked in the head by a horse. It's like, that's literally what happened, but yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That was 7, right?
Yeah, I think so. I fucking hope so. I wouldn't want to add another one.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Rich Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
It had to be there. I originally thought, like, should we start with this one just to get it out of the way? But I thought, no, let's build ourselves up to it. So obviously this is a bit of an interesting one because I think it's another, like I talked about earlier, how, you know, obviously a lot of these songs become these huge hits because of the backlash against them. This obviously not so much backlash, but it's obviously completely manufactured. You know, obviously they plucked this guy out of obscurity. It was like the first professional recording of a song he'd ever done, and obviously it was like, you know,
And the last.
yeah, professional obviously is still even in somewhat close because they filmed it outdoors.
Yeah.
Obviously in part to maintain this sort of fraudulent air that it was like some sort of
Grassroots
thing,
yeah.
which it obviously wasn't. It was directly funded by a millionaire crew and all that, or flown out there. Like, it would never have happened on its own.
No, I mean, I would like to say just quickly, listening to the song and how muddled it all is, like, I wouldn't even call him like a right winger necessarily. Certainly, at the time
he
when
doesn't
wrote it.
call himself a
No,
right-winger,
because
that's one
like
of the interesting
I think like his understanding of the political divide is so
It's non-existent.
Yeah, like I feel sorry for him in a way, because he was completely preyed on.
Yeah.
The cynicism of it all. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, kind of a perfect example of the fraudulent nature of a lot of the right-wing hits. Oh, the Liberals are going crazy because a working man is telling them how it is, so now you have to just give a record company all your money and somehow that makes you a winner, you know. And it's just classic right-wing grift predation, where it's like, yeah, you guys are so easy to hoodwink. It became this like mega instant flash in the pan hit, boom, gone.
Yeah.
He has recorded an album since then. I don't know how well it did. Obviously none of his other music has gone anywhere.
I've never heard anything.
And I think part of the reason for that is because obviously his reaction to it being completely manufactured by the right was to say, oh, well, I don't like you guys. And he immediately just vanished. He was dropped immediately.
Well, fair play to him for that. You know
I will say, obviously, fair play to him for not just going along with it. The guy is is a complete confused idiot.
Oh yeah,
If he didn't know what was going on, okay. But there is no denying the fact that the song is obviously right-wing in nature.
Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
has a right-wing political message. It has obvious racial overtones to the whole thing. There is this obvious north-south divide like we've had elsewhere.
Yeah.
He claims to be some poor guy fighting for poor people, and he like explicitly attacks the poor in this song.
Yeah.
It is very obvious.
So the relationship between Mason Dixon needs some fixing. Just can't escape
LL Cool J has become the breakout star.
I think honestly, LL Cool J has to be legitimate candidate for Blind Drunk Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I wish he was doing backing for every song
Probably.
we're listening to today.
Oh, Dixieland.
The relationship between the Mason Dixon needs some fixing.
I hope you understand.
So yeah, we might as well just get this one over with.
Yeah.
And we'll see if anything else particularly jumps out.
Oh god.
It's basically just a not particularly good song, sung okay, if a little overwrought.
Yeah.
And because of the confused message, this alleged authenticity that it's supposed to have rings false.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, you're just an idiot, dude.
Yeah,
You're just being an
exactly,
arsehole
yeah.
for no reason, and you're just punching down and attacking
Yeah.
people in your own community.
And you're just making it very, very clear.
Yeah.
You're singing this song about like the issues affecting us all in modern times,
How
but you're
messed
making
up
it.
it is.
You're making it very clear that you literally have
You
no
don't
idea what
understand.
the issues are. You don't understand.
And that's why it was so easily co-opted by fascists, because that's their whole thing.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is.
His singing is really dumb.
Living in the new world with an whole soul.
It almost sounds like he's ad-libbing because it's so like
confused.
Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men,
Oh, it's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it does so. Yeah, it's super amateur hour
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And in a way, like you say, you do feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Because most complete unknown amateurs don't get catapulted like this into fucking complete global fucking attention.
Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down.
The thing that makes me just feel less sorry for him is how fucking mean-spirited the song is.
Yes,
it's
absolutely,
so self-aggrandized and
yeah.
so fucking mean-spirited.
Yeah.
It's such an arrogant song.
Yeah. There's nothing remarkable about it.
No. The singing is overwrought. It's so
yeah. It's so.
Yeah, he's acting like he's this like avatar of like some 1930s Depression era fucking Appalachian miner. And he's gonna like bellow out the sorrow.
But he's not singing
man.
Which Side Are You On?
Yeah.
He's singing Fuck the Miners, basically.
exactly.
And it's like, what?
Wish politicians would look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere.
Probably the funniest line in the whole thing, other than the "How is I wish politicians would look out for miners and not just miners on an island somewhere. And it's like, the reason it's so funny to me is that he takes himself in this song so seriously and then puts a shitty little pun about child abuse in it, and it's just like awesome. And then again, the fact that it's just like, what a useful idiot you turned out to be. Because now Donald Trump and all of his fucking nonce mates get to sit there playing your song about how they're all Appalachian ghost miners or something. And you just get to sit in the fucking obscurity again having done your fucking job.
Yeah.
Well, congrats.
Yeah.
Well done. You were so clued into the rich men north of Richmond that they flew straight to your house.
Yeah, milked you for all
milked
you were worth,
all you were,
and then fucked
you
off
went
and left you.
along with every fucking step of it, and then you act all confused as to how it happened. Yeah, it's pretty tragic, and it is, again, whether he understands it or not, it is perfectly emblematic of that fascist. That fucking flying fascist cunt.
Fucking Luftwaffe.
Of that like fascist tendency towards identifying all of the problems and then blaming them on absolutely everybody who has nothing to do with it. All of the people who are more victimised than they are. All of the people who they actually should be allying with in order to defeat the rich men north of Richmond. Instead, he waits for the rich men north of Richmond to fly to his house and record him singing his tune. It's like, mate, how are you this fucking stupid?
Yeah.
How are you this stupid?
Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
It's emo MAGA.
It is.
It's more emo MAGA.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, like the whole thing about like welfare queens and the obese and that. It's like, so hang on, is it rich men north of Richmond or is it fat women?
Poor people.
Like, what are you talking? Yeah, like you say, like he's fucking Woody Guthrie.
He's a man out.
What, yeah.
Like you're some like poet from the fucking 20s.
Oh no! You're not.
You just have a ginger beard.
Yeah.
An old song. Chill the fuck out.
You're talking about welfare queens and like obesity. So you don't sound like an old soul to me.
No,
you sound like every other MAGA supporter.
Loser.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, just the north-south shit that we touched on.
Yeah.
The obvious racism of talking about the rich men in the north and us poor folks down in the south. It's just like, okay. You're not here to help.
Yes.
There is no one that you can help with that attitude.
I remember when this song, became this hit, and all the right wingers, fuck, it's almost like,
Finally, we've got one good song.
So it's what, like, several thousand to one instead of to
Allegedly.
nil. Like, allegedly.
That's one in a row for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're supposed to be talking about this.
All you're thinking about is LL Cool J.
I can think about is LL Cool J comparing a fucking do-rag to a Confederate flag.
On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. God bless the USA by Lee Greenwood. Now you knew we had to get here.
Genuinely, I was wondering if you'd actually bother with it.
Of course.
I'm glad you have. I'm glad you have.
There's no way. This is a true classic and probably my personal favourite song of all time. God bless the USA by Lee Greenwood, a true classic in every sense of the word. It obviously first came out in the 1980s where it served as a kind of Reagan era Republican anthem. It resurfaced post 9/11, like with the Toby Keith stuff, as this jingoistic, patriotic, We Love America song, and now obviously has resurfaced yet again to live on as a cornerstone of the Trump rallies, which I think charts this perfect course of republicanism.
Absolutely,
and sort of fascist evolution in American politics.
Yeah, from Republicans
this one
to
song
fascism.
kind of charts
it
it in a way where it keeps coming back. So you start with the sort of evangelical injection of Reaganism, then you come back with the genocidal post 9/11. We will destroy the entire world in hellfire because you stepped on our foot, and now obviously is just a part of this, oligarchical sort of nonce
idiocracy.
state. It's like nonceocracy. So obviously this is yet another example of talking big about defending America whilst having never actually served.
Whilst, let's just say it, whilst being a fucking coward.
Like obviously he was alive during the draft period and was given an exemption. And obviously talking about grifts, this again links perfectly into Trump, because obviously Lee Greenwood and Trump together sell the God Bless the USA Bible, which is a $60 Bible, which features the Bible as well as founding documents. It has like American flags embossed on it, which is like, again, another perfect encapsulation.
Sort of idolatry, isn't it?
And just a perfect encapsulation of that Christian American fascism. That Christ and the state are one, and we must purge the heretics and the mutants, cleanse the xenos for the emperor. And of course, the uniquely American element of it is obviously that you then bundle all of that up and flog it. while you're in your fucking plantation
Yeah.
house, you know. Like I say, they sell for $60 and they are manufactured in China for roughly $3 each. So if you just go back to Hank Williams Jr., he wants to get rid of all the cars manufactured in China. Well, Trump's done one better. He's manufacturing your Bibles in China now. Yeah, should have the music video for this, which is a great video. Greenwood himself is just such a funny looking guy. As he's aged, the dye has just gotten thicker and thicker. Yeah, there's so many funny parts in this video.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
Size of that.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
What a fucking goofy dork. Wow. I've heard that song so many times, and I had seen him, but I don't think I've ever actually seen that music video. What an absolute dweeb.
Yeah.
When he says, well, you know, I won't forget the men who died to give that, is he talking about the Native Americans?
Yeah, probably.
'Cause,
yeah, the slaves and the Yeah, I mean, one of my favourite elements of the whole video is obviously all of the like family extras. I don't know if he is related to any of them. I mean, who they are.
Yeah, they all look very weird. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that was actually his family.
Yeah, my
Like the old
favourite.
man with the big hat when he's sat there.
His head is the exact shape of the hat.
The guy's like puts his hand on his head and he's just going. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Probably my favourite guy in the whole thing is the guy who's like clearly an actual war veteran.
Yeah, with the.
And he has
looks
a
like he's
complete dead-eyed.
Yes, yeah. I was going to say he looks like he's contemplating suicide. Like, it looks like this is an intervention they're having to try and stop him from
like
topping
it
himself.
Genuinely looks like he's just
he's
completely.
got this 1,000-yard stare and that. Like yeah.
Well, he's thinking about how great it is. I'd love to go to war.
Yeah, and the guy's just like
thinking about all his dead.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Simple-minded.
It's such a disgraceful song.
It really is, isn't it?
The whole thing of he'd love to fight on behalf of America.
So it's funny they didn't.
Strangely, never found the time to actually do so.
Isn't it?
In
It is
all
funny.
the conflicts that happened during his lifetime, somehow he was just always otherwise engaged, I guess.
Yeah, you think of all those people who didn't really want to have to fight.
Yeah, and yet
they had to.
Yeah.
And then there's him.
Yeah.
Only that.
All talk.
Yeah.
Just a perfect Trump anthem, really.
Yeah, it's completely hollow, vacuous, and full of shit.
Yeah. It's like that. Let's just get some old pictures. America, farms, tractors. It's
the
all,
Vietnam War.
Yeah, yeah. It's all just such surface level shit.
Yeah.
I had to put it in there.
Yeah, I know.
Real favourite. Of
I've noticed that. Yeah, it is. Yeah, one of the most embarrassing things. I mean, we talk about cringe.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And like you say, the fact that there is a guy in the video who clearly is just like,
well, I think that's the thing. There is no substance to it, but the only substance in it is his proclamation that he would love to go and fight in a war, and it's the one thing that he never drew about himself. So it's just like, do you see?
Yeah.
You keep doing this.
Yeah.
You keep doing this.
I do wish LL Cool J was there.
Oh, absolutely. I would pay money to get LL Cool J to record it and do it live at a Trump rally with Lee Green with dye job.
There's a lot of Phil Collins to him, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you do not look like a musician. Do you know what I mean? It's like if someone said, "Oh, what does this guy do for a living?" You'd be like, "I'm a chartered surveyor, like a stay-at-home dad, house husband." You know what I mean?
Registered sex offender.
Yeah, wow, just again, all of their heroes are just the most pathetic cunts. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, but that's your hero, Donald Trump and this prick. Like, okay.
On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Take a Knee, My Ass by Neil McCoy.
Is he the Neil McCoy?
He kneels for no man. Another one that's not his name. I believe his actual name is McGoy, but it's quite a long spelling of a name that's pronounced really short.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And basically, he's changed it multiple times to try and sort of, presumably to get people to pronounce it. Until he eventually settled on
McCoy.
Just call me McCoy. And so, yeah, he's kind of a weird dude, obviously. You should see his face. I mean, I don't think there is a music video with this. I can't remember. He's like quarter Filipino and like part Irish as well, and just does the whole American shit, and it's just like, it's obvious.
So it's even more
quite
embarrassing.
pathetic,
Like, oh god.
But yeah, Take a Knee, My Ass. It's pretty obvious what issue he is discussing here, with no doubt tact and charm. He claims he actually sympathises with the issue a number of sports people took the knee for, and he said he hopes that this song would bring people together. I'm not quite sure if Take a Knee, My Ass is the title I would have gone with about bringing people together on the issue of taking a knee. But
what he should have done is get LL Cool J.
Heal that divide. I'm a white man. Taking a knee instantly.
I'm a white man. It's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Whoa. Stop the presses. Brad Pitt is a white guy.
That's the thing. He's white.
He's white?
What do you think?
He's white.
I'm just a white man.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I'll stand and place my hand upon my heart every time her anthem plays.
This is really
bad.
Yeah.
When I see somebody on TV take their stand on bended knee, whether it's on AstroTurf or grass, I think of those whose freedom was not free, and I say, take a knee, my ass.
Oh, this is so bad.
So bad.
From Valley Forge to Vietnam, 9/11 to Afghanistan, that star-spangled banner does yet wave.
What's this got to do with taking a knee? He's not even talking about
it's
taking
not,
a knee.
no.
Arm in arm and side by side, American heroes fought and died. You're showing some respect, too much to ask.
Nice. Such a beautiful voice. Wow, Marty Robbins, eat your heart. I think
That's
that
one of
was
the worst songs
song,
I've ever heard.
Yeah,
like, I'm not even joking. That sounds like it was an AI. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was really poorly produced. The vocals were terrible.
He can't really sing either.
Yeah, I mean, there's bits where his voice just kind of falters so much.
and it goes
and
flat.
I think like,
and
they had to like tweak
it
to get that.
Definitely. Yeah. That's the best they could get with autotune.
Yeah, and the
Paisley.
like the complete disregard for like vocal melody,
Yes, yeah.
or any kind of structure to the singing,
or indeed rhythm when it comes to music.
Yeah.
It sounded like there were 2 or 3 songs that would
fluctuate.
Yes,
there's these sort of slower,
it's so
more
jarring.
spoken word bits.
Yeah.
And there's these sort of sudden bits where the music picks up.
and I get that happens in almost every song, but like
everything's of such poor quality that none of it gels, because like you say, it sounds like there's 2 or 3 songs smashed together and they're all bad.
they're all
So
they're all the worst songs you've ever heard. That is legitimately, that's easily the worst thing we've listened to today. One of the least offensive.
Yeah, really repetitive and
boring as fuck. Like you said, he literally wasn't even talking about.
Yeah, he just starts talking about the military. It's really nothing to do with the issue at all. He doesn't address the issue at all.
Wow, that's I feel.
He's basically just falsely accusing people who kneel of disrespecting the military, which is just a very, very common, deliberate misunderstanding of what they were doing.
Yeah, I said earlier how I felt sorry for Oliver Anthony. Wow. Wow. I feel sorry for this poor boy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I don't even want to make fun of him because I just that's tragic.
Yeah.
That is absolutely tragic. Oh my god.
I'll stand up for the flag, take off my hat, oh glory. Thank God I live in the home of the brave, in the land of the free.
There's so many weird bits where his sentences just suddenly stop. And he goes like, oh, he wasn't going for anything there. Wow. I mean, I'll give him that. He's got a lot of balls to put a song that bad. Like, he's not even trying.
Yeah, no, he didn't know.
He didn't even try.
I just feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah, definite head injury.
Yeah. Oh, fucking, yeah.
Maybe some kind of virus or something.
Yeah, like a fucking
brain. It was
brainworm.
Yeah, he was hanging around RFK.
Yeah.
He went hunting with RFK Jr. and got a brainworm.
We've listened to a lot of shit today, obviously. I mean, the last song we listened to was that fucking God Bless the USA.
Yeah.
That seems like it has so much legitimacy as a piece of art compared to that. Wow. I was expecting to, like, you know, for it to be, like, offensive and, like, to get me, like...
Yeah, I figured he would have something more aggressive.
But it's so... It's like, you don't seem to even give a shit.
Yeah, you don't seem to know where you are.
Yeah. Fuck, mate. Oh, that was painful.
Yeah. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. We Love Our Cops by Baked Alaska.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
We're going to finish up with some real bangers.
Excellent.
Here,
earlier I was going to mention that, thinking that there's no way we'd be listening to it.
But we've got to listen. This is We Love Our Cops by Baked Alaska, not his real name.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they all like a fake name, don't
Yeah,
they?
I know.
What's his real name? Fucking Roy McGoy.
Danish pastry. Yeah, so Baked Alaska, obviously notorious online shithead, probably most famous for taking part in the Unite the Right rally and for live streaming the January 6th insurrection attempt, which he later went to jail for a short time for. Also, funnily enough, his footage was actually used to identify and convict a number of other participants, which is hilarious. He has been through a lot of different identities online and in real life. Even when giving an actual name, he usually gives a fake name. His upbringing was incredibly strange, I'll get to that. He actually briefly rejected the alt-right and reverted to his childhood Christianity, claiming that he was going to set up a charity that was going to help teach white supremacists anti-racism. I remember watching him play Mario, reading Bible quotes. It was very strange.
What?
Unsurprisingly, it was not a successful switch, and he very quickly just dropped the whole act and just went straight back to being a fucking Nazi.
Yeah. Was it him who went to McDonald's and just started harassing people?
Yeah, that was his meltdown because he got his Twitter account got banned.
That's right.
He has basically been banned from almost every social media platform.
But he can go back on Twitter now.
I actually don't know where he is and what he's up to at the moment. Hopefully he's dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was born and raised in Alaska. His parents were both fairly Christian and ran a charity that worked in Russia with Russian orphanages, and they would make fairly regular trips over there to give things to these children, like food and toys or whatever, from what I understand. And he actually has 4 siblings, maybe 5, who are adopted Russian children.
Right, okay.
And had a bit of an interesting childhood, and obviously he is just an absolute clout chaser and is just desperate for validation. A lot of what he does is, as we say, purely for attention, and whether it's positive or negative, he doesn't really seem to mind. And obviously it leads to things like this, his fledgling rap career, where he decided to start singing conservative rap songs.
You gotta love white people. You gotta love white people. You gotta love white people, don't you? That's That's my favourite kind of rap. It's the original. It's
White
the
boy
original.
rap.
White boy Reagan rap.
Yeah, Rappin, Ronnie.
Don't worry, I brought my Rappin' Ronnie Reagan tape. It always makes the trip go faster.
Well.
You know something? He did say well a lot.
God, could this one actually be worse than the last one we listened to? I mean, the answer is yes, it easily could, but will it be?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, the thing that will cut it is that this is fucking hilarious. It's so cringe, it's funny.
yeah.
That other one was just kind of
Yeah,
sad.
it wasn't even funny, it was sad.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to cry.
Yeah,
when
it
I
was like,
just-
it had the air of a care home about it.
it really
Wasn't
did,
nice.
Yeah. Back to Alaska.
Oh, I'd forgotten about this one.
We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. And when I'm in the jam, I know that I can call up the man, with a plan. We love our cops, our law enforcement.
Yeah, don't tread on me. I love the blues.
It's got such a great flow, hasn't it?
Yeah.
When I'm on a run, all I gotta do is dial 911.
Wow. I mean, I've seen that before, obviously, and it still shocks me.
Did you know, Joe? He edited that whole video by himself.
Do you know what? Yeah, I did. The editing is every bit as good as the dancing and the lyrics and the rapping.
Yeah.
You say the last one felt like an old folks home. This has the same vibe to it.
Yeah, it feels like a boar stall. Brains, children.
And when they're out at war, you know why I appreciate them more, thank you Lord.
With his fucking mullet.
Yeah, the mullet and the grills.
Yeah,
I mean, it literally, it reminds me so much of Why Must I Cry?
Yeah!
Why must I cry? 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 Why?
That's what it comes across. It's like unintentional, terrible music video classic.
I'd forgotten that even existed.
And it's like, it feels like he's knowingly leaning into it in this attempt to go viral or
Yeah,
something.
maybe.
And he couldn't even get it with that. Like, it was just so cringe and shit that people just go, fucking hell.
The fact that there aren't even really verses, there's the chorus and then the same verse over and over again.
Yeah,
It's like,
the only difference is it switches out military for veterans at one point.
911.
Just grinding up against the car.
Thank you for your service. Yes.
Why did he say that in such a sexual way?
You know why.
That was creepy.
Yeah,
right?
he's grinding up against the car. And it's like Matthew McConaughey at the end of Killer Joe. There's no way I'm going to show that clip.
Like I said before you started it, like, is this going to be more pathetic than Taking Me My Arse? I think the answer's no, it's not more pathetic, but it is basically as pathetic.
I'll tell you what, this is what it is. The difference is, they're about as pathetic as each other, and this might actually be more pathetic, to be honest, but the difference is the Neil McCoy one, because he's some sort of doddering old twat, you feel sorry for him, but because it's Baked Alaska,
you don't
feel sorry for him.
That is the difference,
and that's the
actually,
difference. It's not that one is more or less a blah blah blah, it's that you can have some sympathy for some doddering old fart with a cowboy hat that's too big on going, hello everybody. Whereas this guy comes along and you know he's a fucking sexual predator, and you just want to see him chemically castrated.
Like Neil McCoy, you just want to give him a hug and a cup of cocoa and just tell him that everything's okay,
and just say shh, just let it happen.
Whereas Baked Alaska, you just want to fucking castrate him in front of his family.
Well, they'd probably join.
Well,
His mother would be like, give me the knife.
But don't do it with a knife. Pair of bricks.
I got him, Joe! Fucking kill him!
In terms of the construction of it as a song, it's not necessarily the worst one, but it is the least. It's
Yes,
the one that has
yeah,
the least.
yeah.
It is so repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, I was
the
complaining
auto-tune
about the one before,
vocals
yeah, oh,
are terrible.
God, yeah.
He obviously can't sing at all. Like you say,
cannot hold
his
any tune.
flow is non-existent.
Oh my God.
It's like a trickle of piss. It's
Yeah.
not a flow. The fact that it's just the laziest rhymes he can think of.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
They are important.
Yes, we love our military.
They are, is that,
important.
what does that mean?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah, the fact that like it is literally just the most simpering bootlicker shit, where it's just like, oh, I love you, I love you,
and he
so
just
much.
wears it on his sleeve.
I love you so much. But I will also say, in the music video, he does it a number of times. There's like a black guy at one point that they like film from a distance. There's a woman, I'm not sure if she's like a traffic warden.
directing traffic.
I'm not really sure what the uniforms are, obviously. But either she's like Asian or maybe Mexican, South American, something like that. It's hard to see because the video quality is quite
so
poor.
poor. Yeah.
All you can really see is the.
All you can see is a mullet.
All you can see is the bleached blonde mullet and grills. But like you can see that her skin looked darker, basically. But he does the whole white power thing a bunch of times, and he like puts his arm round her and does the white power thing, and it's quite obvious that he knows what he's doing, and he is just taking the piss.
He's such a little shit.
Yeah, the racism is obvious.
Yeah.
Like he's doing
doing
putting his
it
arm
deliberately,
around her and acting like he's a friend because he thinks it's funny. Absolute cunt. To tie it into why I kind of included it here is that it isn't actually that much different from all the others because they're all doing the same thing. Obviously we heard like Jason Aldean singing about how the cops are brilliant and he's going to hide behind
it's all
the
just
police.
simpering
Yeah, I'm a
shit,
rebel who hides behind the police while they beat up protesters who actually want to affect social change. And it's the same shit. You know, we go all the way back to the battle hymn of Lieutenant Calley where it's like this hero worship of the least deserving people. It's sad and it's pathetic and it's so grovelling that I want to smash your fucking head. It's like, have some self-respect. Get up off the floor.
Have some self-respect.
Where's your self-respect?
That is my big shiny shoe, and you are the biggest piece of shit on it. Lick yourself off my shoe. Lick yourself off my shoe. That's my shoe! Don't actually do it! Where's your self-respect?
It's that through line of like they act tough, they talk tough, and everything about them is how they deserve to be treated less and how they're like second-class citizens and they want to be, and how they want the police and the military to put guns in their mouths so they can suck on them. And it's just like, you people are so messed up, you're so fucked in the head. The deal is, it's like, you can do what you like to me as long as I get to watch when you beat black guy to death.
That's the thing. I mean, I think Baked Alaska is just the perfect example of it. But everything we've encountered today is essentially the same thing.
He's so transparently that thing because he's so desperate. There's He has made a beast of himself. To rid himself of the pain of being a man. So I saved the best till last, obviously.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I have no idea what you picked.
It's funny, I thought you were going to say, I know exactly what
Oh, right, okay. Because, I mean, I could guess, and chances are I'd probably guess right after a couple of goes or whatever. But I haven't thought about it because I didn't want to, you know, I just...
Because you desperately didn't.
Because I desperately didn't want to think about this.
Okay,
And even now that we're doing it, I'm trying to disassociate as much as possible. But,
well, good luck.
I am ready for one final Christmas surprise.
A Christmas miracle. Here it goes. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Facts by Tom MacDonald featuring Ben Shapiro.
Of course it is! How did I forget? How did I forget that Ben Shapiro is a fucking rapper now, apparently?
So you thought Baked Alaska's flows were bad, hey? You'll be singing his praises in a minute.
It's amazing how many times that's happened, doesn't it? Where it's like, wow, I thought the last song was bad. It's like successive governments, really, isn't it?
It's like being British. So I thought we would finish off with this notorious song from the infamous MAGA rap legend that is Canadian-born Tom MacDonald. It's not even American, which is he's like this proper like I'm the tough guy. I'm triggering all the you're Canadian.
You're J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys.
J-Rock, baby.
J-Rock, baby.
J-Rock, baby. J-Rock, baby.
That shit, dog.
come on.
I went back to the laundry room. There's more fucking stereo equipment on top of the laundry machine. 2 turntables and a fucking microphone. So I took all that stuff, smashed a bunch of albums, which maybe I shouldn't have did, but fuck it. And then I said, you know what? I'm taking their dryer too.
Of course, Tom MacDonald featuring the defender of all that is good and holy himself, the one and only Mr. Beanie Shapini, back from his stint at the White House, taking down AMC. We are now going to willingly subject ourselves to, yes, that's right, Ben Shapiro rapping, something close to it, as close to rapping as his Victorian plague child vocal.
Wow, okay, so this is a doozy,
This is
isn't
going to
it?
be special.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously Tom MacDonald is notorious as, like, basically just a fucking cringe lord on the internet.
Yeah.
All of his fame basically comes from just tying himself to, like, 4chan buzzwords and the MAGA movement.
Yeah, he's just a cunt.
He's a cunt, yeah.
He's just a cunt.
Some of his other songs that I could have picked, but of course, you know, I had to go with Ben Shapiro.
Of course, yeah.
Include the songs Fake Woke, Snowflakes, Coronavirus, No Lives Matter, and Straight White Male. A real depth and breadth of topics there. Basically just ticks all of the right-wing 4chan meme boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
And basically just endlessly whines about how hard it is to be a downtrodden Canadian in woke America. So, yeah, kind of, I feel like the logical end goal of all of the things we've listened to up to now.
Yeah, yeah,
We have
yeah.
the kind of the cringe, the desperate clout chasing of Baked Alaska in there. We've got Ben Shapiro himself.
Yeah.
We've got that sort of phony Kid Rock bravado. I'm going to set you snowflakes
Yeah.
straight by not addressing a single thing you said.
The
and
head
talking about
injuries of
something.
LL Cool J.
Yeah. Well, I think Ben Shapiro brings the rap.
Yeah. So has this guy ever done a tune with Kid Rock?
Do you know what? I don't think so, but like, how? How is that not happening?
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, like,
surely we could make a bit of a finder's fee for bringing them together, right?
Make that happen.
Yeah.
We should do a song. We should write a song. We should do one of these. It'll be Sleeping
I mean, we
Giant
could
all
do,
over.
yeah,
Actually do it.
We could do, I suppose.
You could get your hair braided.
Yeah, yeah.
Get some white boy dreadlocks.
Yeah, and wear a fedora. Sorry. That snuck up on me.
Like Neil McCoy.
I could get a Rasta hat, yeah, but in the thin blue line colours.
Oh yeah, yeah boy.
I'm already feeling the fucking Gary Oldman in True Romance
Yeah,
vibes,
yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely. We'll do a Gary Oldman in True Romance to Tom MacDonald.
Yeah.
357 to the fucking nutsack.
They call me offensive, controversial. It's only 2 genders, boys and girls. They can't cancel my message cause I'm the biggest independent rapper in the whole friggin' world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, alright. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't wanna talk to folks who don't get it. Go woke, go broke, no hope, it's pathetic. Pro-choice, where the American flag's at? Remember when people would hang those?
You're Canadian.
They've been taken down, they all been replaced with BLM flags or a rainbow.
You're Canadian, you fucking loser.
I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you.
Have you seen yourself, mate?
You go for a lot of effort to offend me for someone who doesn't care whether you offend me or not.
I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream. You can riot in the streets. You defunded the police. Now there's no one to protect you.
Still going. Yeah, that was the most embarrassing thing we've listened to. That was so cringe.
Oh, that guy is such a dick.
Like, he's trying so
hard to offend you,
upset
yeah,
people,
yeah,
and no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, that's the reason. I don't care if I offend you. It's like, well, that's handy because I don't think you're capable of it.
Yeah, like, the fact that he switches the line up, like, alternately. He goes, I don't care if I offend you, and I hope I offend you. And it's just, I know you.
Yeah, exactly.
This is all you have. Like, the whole line of, like, you know, playing the victim and love lines, because all you have is being triggered. And it's like, you're literally screaming and shouting at me about defunding the police, a thing that never happened.
Yeah.
It's like, let's keep it real facts. It's like, you didn't deal with a single fact in any of this.
Let's just keep it real facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect you.
If you wanted to upset people, maybe you could, like, I don't know, actually have a point, or like actually say anything of any substance.
I love that. I asked myself, what would Ben do? Well, nothing.
Fuck
he wouldn't do anything.
He hasn't
It's like
done
he's
anything.
never done it.
Maybe he'd write a dog shit novel that no one's read. He's going, why aren't you flying the American flag? Because you're in Canada. Because you're Canadian. Are you fucking stupid or what?
Wow, what a twat.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck did you manage to stand next to a rapping Ben Shapiro and still come across as the bigger cunt of the two of them? That really takes the fucking cake, doesn't it?
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You go into prison. I'm on television. Dogs, no one knows who you are.
This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes.
He's got his face covered in tattoos, he's got the grills on.
The fucking hair,
yeah,
you know.
He's got his braided hair.
Yeah, the murder doll's haircut.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like everything about him is this appropriation of the whole
edge. Well, I mean, it's the edgelord plus the appropriation of hip hop.
Gangster stuff. Yeah. And then tries to act like he's above it by being like, we ain't gonna turn your sons into thugs and that, whilst threatening violence against everybody. It's so completely arse backwards and confused.
It's like you're a MAGA guy and you're saying we're not turning your kids into thugs. It's like, well, I've got fucking news for you, mate.
Yeah, I've got some real bad news. Yeah, the fact is just the whole thing is just absolutely embarrassing. He's so desperate. Oh, you're going to tears. You're crying, aren't you? Please say you're crying. I need attention, please. It's the only way I make money. And it's like the fact that it's like all you're doing is literally just grifting on this like endless fucking algorithmically driven hate cycle that you have to keep reinventing every day because it doesn't actually exist. Again, you are Canadian.
Yeah.
You have come to America to become a MAGA rapper so that you can join the grift. You know it's bullshit.
What the
I don't care if I offend you. No, you're desperate to offend you because it's all you have. If you're not out there constantly getting hate clicks or, again, just like all the others, complaining about how the libs don't like you, so you should definitely give me your money as one in the eye for the libs. That's the only reason you exist, man. You only exist to speak incoherently on things you're not even trying to understand.
You mad, you mad, you mad. I guess it's cool to be the victim, well, I'ma be the man. You sad, you sad, you sad. You just try to get attention, being triggered's all you have. You mad, you mad, you mad. You blame everybody else for every problem that you can.
I ask myself, what would Ben do?
Probably embarrass himself in front of everyone again, because it's really all he does.
I genuinely mean it. Whatever his name is, Tommy Fuckboy, is infinitely more embarrassing than Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
How is that possible? Ben Shapiro is rapping.
Yeah. The reason why McDonald is more embarrassing than Ben Shapiro is that at least Ben Shapiro has the grace to look embarrassed to be there. McDonald is like doing all this mugging at the camera like he's the coolest, baddest guy ever. Mate, this is a public humiliation ritual you're engaging in.
Yeah.
You do not come out well from this. What do you mean when you say you defund the police, now there's no one to protect you? From who?
Yeah.
Oh, from you? I don't know, what are the gun laws in Canada? What are you going to do? If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Again,
no one said every Caucasian's a bigot. We said you're a bigot because you are, in fact, you want to talk about facts, you're a bigot.
He says, if every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist, in the first line of that verse. And the last lines of the verse are, where the American flag's at, remember when people would hang those, they've been taken down, they've all been replaced with BLM flags or a rainbow. The only objection you would have to a BLM flag or a rainbow is bigotry. It's like, no, Tom, no one's saying all Caucasians are bigoted. They're saying you are. And you are.
Yeah.
That's your entire identity, and without it, you wouldn't have a career.
Dog, it's a yarmulke.
Yeah. It's so hardcore. One thing I do want to say about Ben Shapiro, obviously we haven't spoken about him in a long time, but he looks fucking horrible these days. The fucking beard, his face just looks horrible. His eyebrows seem to be growing at like a ridiculous rate, and like his brow is like knitting together all the more, and his mouth seems to get more print all the time. He's like a fucking
the little hamster.
And it's just like, mate, what is happening to you? Again, no actual substance or anything. It's all just, I'm going to say a bunch of things I think upset you. And then it's like, are you offended? Are you offended? I don't care if you're offended. Please say that you're offended.
Yeah.
Please, where are you going? It's weird, it's because the bootlicker mentality is there almost on both sides. Like, when they're loving the police and guns, it's obvious bootlicker shit. But it's like, in a weird way, they're so obsessed with upsetting the left and the libs and all this stuff that it's like a sub-dom relationship. The power still relates with the libs. Because you need the validation from them. Please be upset. Please give me power by pretending that what you've said has upset you. It's so...
We just watched Baked Alaska.
Yeah, he's just the pokey evolution of that.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
like
exactly
you're basically the same, mate. You got the silly fucking hair. You're doing the stupid dance shit. The grills. You're a racist who is culturally appropriating black culture.
Yeah, you are built on flawed foundations. Unsurprisingly, the art you produce is a little weird.
Yeah. Well, again, it's like when you listen to them just talking, when you watch Ben Shapiro's fucking news show or any of their YouTube channels, whatever. It is basically them just sitting there going, buzzword, 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 buzzword. But then when you listen to the music they produce, it's the same, but obviously it doesn't kind of work as well with music because it's like the lyrics don't flow properly because you're literally just going, buzzword, buzzword, buzzword,
you're
buzzword,
desperate to have
you're going, buzzword,
cram in every kind of... Again, it's just virtue signaling. You're using the politically correct language of the right. So you have to say pronouns, you have to say snowflakes, you have to say BLM, you have to get all of these things in. And it completely overloads this song. He then just suddenly starts going on about money and cars and the rap game. And it's like, right, that's just racism. Like Tom, that's just racism. All you're saying is that it's okay for you to steal rap music because you're white.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to colonise it because you're a white guy and black people are all thugs and criminals and hoes and strippers and drug dealers and drug addicts.
You're literally applying the concept of manifest destiny to rap music. That's what you're doing. We don't promote guns. We ain't going to turn your kids into thugs and hoes. Obviously implying that that's what the other people do. And who are the others?
Exactly. You're going to turn your kids into fucking losers.
I can't get over how much more embarrassing he is than Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, it is.
How is that even possible?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's like LL Cool J and Brad Paisley.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's like a reprieve from Tom McDonald.
Yes.
When
starts I mean, it's terrible, obviously.
Yes.
But it's like, of course it is. You expect it to be terrible. And like you say, he looks uncomfortable.
He's like, sort of half smiling because he knows it's shit.
Yeah. Whereas this wanker stood next to him actually wants you to believe that he's a professional rapper.
Yeah.
And it's like, mate, Ben Shapiro's a better rapper than you are. Baked Alaska's a better rapper than you.
I'd rather listen to that than this fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What a try-hard little fucking loser. It's like, again, you are a parasite. Like you see with this one, I think it's just a perfect encapsulation of kind of what almost all of those songs were actually about, which is, oh, are you triggered yet? Oh, did I trigger you? Did I upset you? Oh, you're upset? And that's it. It's like, no, the answer is no. Writing a shit song doesn't trigger me.
It doesn't make me look stupid.
It doesn't make me look
okay. You being shit at something does not reflect on me at all, actually.
And I think that's kind of the through line, other than the Brad Paisley.
Which
obviously has, you can say, presumably good intentions. I hesitate to say that. But it's like when a bad person tries to do good. And it comes out wrong.
But he is trying. I believe he was genuinely trying to do good. I don't think he did do good, but I think that he tried to.
He meant to.
LL Cool J, I don't think he knew where the fuck he was or what that meant. Jesus Christ, I can't believe that. That is the most. I think LL Cool J shocked me the most.
I suppose here at the end, if we were to pick one song that you should listen to,
I was gonna ask if you had like a favourite, you know.
It's gotta be LL Cool J and the fucking Brad Paisley, Accidental Racist. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I absolutely concur.
Yeah.
I honestly, when I saw Brad fucking Paisley's name on that, I never thought I would be sitting here at the end of all that saying, yeah, out of all of those, the best one and the one I might actually listen to again is Brad Paisley featuring LL Cool J in a song called Accidental Racist.
In one of the worst songs I've ever heard. But yeah, like it's genuinely hilarious.
Yeah, it's one of the most insane things I've ever listened to.
I cannot believe that is
like,
real.
I think
it genuinely comes across like a parody song.
Yeah. Oh, it really does.
So,
yeah.
like,
It's like a Tim Heidecker song.
Like the backing vocal.
Yeah.
In the background. It's like, how is this real? How is this real?
I think possibly the worst of them. I mean, obviously, Baked Alaska is right up there, but that Neil McCoy. That was like
legitimately pathetic.
Yeah,
in the truest sense of the word.
Yeah, it's not pathetic like say Ben Shapiro and that fucking
derogatory.
Yeah. No, I genuinely feel pathos. I feel sympathy.
Can this guy not speak?
Yeah, it's like is he all right?
He was tripping over words.
Yeah.
There was no rhyming structure of any kind.
It's like,
oh god.
If I was
poor guy.
If I was watching like live music and fucking Baked Alaska came on, I'd throw a bottle of piss at him. Whereas if that Roy McCoy, I think I'd be like no, and I'd get up on the stage and I'd just take him in hand and be like, come on mate, come on. And we take him to see the St John's Ambulance Crew. Do you know what I mean? If you were at a festival, you'd take him to the medical tent and you'd get him checked out. Do you know what I mean? Whereas basically any of the others, I would just throw bottles of piss at them.
Yeah.
We love our military. They are important. It's just so bad. It's like you never thought to maybe do another take, or even okay, I've recorded the song. It sounds fucking atrocious. I'll delete that.
Fuck another take. How about you take a step off a fucking?
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was Facts by Tom McDonald featuring Ben Shapiro, I guess. Wow, what an experience. So triggered.
I'm so angry right now.
Yeah, so upset.
That song really deeply upset me.
Yeah.
Because they're just such powerful, strong men, you know?
Yeah. What can you even say to such compelling arguments?
Ben Shapiro using the term dog as well is just
he got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro got that dog in him. So, those were the 12 songs of Christmas.
Well, we got through them all right.
Yeah,
I've got to say, there were times, even when we were listening to some, there were times when I thought, oh god, this is going to be rough, But it was relatively enjoyable. I had fun. I had fun. Yeah.
There were none that it was like, I've got to get this song off now.
Yeah. I thought that might happen. I did think there might be like, no, I don't want to switch this off. All of them, I think, were at least like funny enough to keep you listening, or they had at least something that draw your attention. None of them were particularly long, so it's like hopefully that translates into an entertaining watch for you guys.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. To be honest, I think Facts was probably like the least entertaining one.
Absolutely.
I figured it would be funny because of Ben Shapiro rapping, and it just isn't.
No, I do remember feeling that at the time. When it came out and everyone was like, "Oh, Ben Shapiro's in fucking rapping," and I watched it and it was like,
it's not. You didn't even make the most of that.
Yeah, and it's like, I hope I offend you. It's like, well, sorry to disappoint you, but like, no, you just bored me.
Yeah, just further proof that the art from right wingers really just sheds more light on them than anything else.
Yeah,
their attempts to own the libs just fall flat on their face every time.
Always embarrassing.
Even the intended audience, I don't really feel it does actually speak to them particularly. I think a lot of it is
they pretend that.
They pretend that they like it so that they can trigger people, and it's just like that's as embarrassing as Tom McDonald did.
Yeah,
it's not working, and you're just making your life worse because you think it somehow gets one over on someone you've never even met.
Imagine shooting a video like that one and then being like, I look really cool, put that out. Kid Rock's bad enough, but he's like a fucking 70-year-old crack addict. I don't know what your excuse is.
No, he is Canadian. We've been over that. All we can really say is thank you very much for watching. Thanks for listening. Some of these songs no doubt heard for the very first time by humans. human is. Jesus, what an experience that was. So cringy. Yeah, all I can say is Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Thanks for spending some time with us.
Follow us on Blue Sky, because fuck Twitter.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us this year. Not as many videos this year as usual, but hope you understand. Like I say, we've got plenty more coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned. Yeah, this has been a funny year.
Yep.
Nothing particularly good happened, and next year's probably going to be considerably worse. So, cheers!
Happy New Year, everybody!
Bye! But hey, look, stay strong. We're in it together. Have some good food. Hopefully spend some time with some decent people. Maybe knock the shit out of someone in your family. So, Merry Christmas, everybody! And we'll see you next year. And who knows, maybe we'll do another one of these next Christmas. Who knows? We shall see. But until then, stay safe, look after yourselves, and God bless us. Everyone.
This country's yours and mine. It's the home of the brave and free. It's the place for you and me. Oh, na 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 na. It's only a matter of time till we get things back on track. Our values are under attack now, and the bad guys get the benefits. Rest of us pay their way. Patriots are under attack just for having their say. While I'm riding down Freedom Road, agents on my tail. You wave a flag on Christmas Day, they'll throw you in jail. Hey, oh, na 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 na. This country's yours and mine. It's the home of the brave and free. It's the place for you and me. Oh, na 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 na. It's only a matter of time till we get things back on track. Our values are under attack. Don't matter if you're black or white, there's a difference between wrong and right. It's written down for all to read. That's the U.S. Constitution, it's all you need.